What's cracking? Interesting way to begin. I don't know where that came from. I just thought do something different. Hello, welcome to the stream. We're going to just chill here. We're going to chit chat, just kick back, shoot the shit, as it were. Talk rubbish. Actually, no, we're not going to talk rubbish, are we? We're probably going to have a call in. We're probably going to have a call in from the panel ho himself. I see. I saw that handle just as I looked over and began my stream. The panel ho. That's, of course, Mr. Dale Bold. He does want to have a chat. And I'm down for a chat on a Saturday afternoon. Lousy weather outside. A lot of rainfall on the east coast of Australia. A lot of rainfall. Heavy rainfall. Flooding in places. Hochwasser, as the Germans call it. High water. Not so bad here, but certainly in some places it's been pretty bad. And so, yeah, we're just going to have a nice indoor afternoon. I got a home brew that I'm looking forward to cracking later on. Might grab a coffee up front. Probably grab a coffee. I probably should clean these glasses. You know when your eyesight starts going and then the next thing you know, you don't even realize, like, it takes you half an hour to realize that there's crap all over it. You just think it's your bad eyes. Well, that's what I'm going through right now. My eyes have deteriorated very, very rapidly. Once it started, it just wasn't going to stop. And I thought maybe we could kick this off with, you know, I see a lot of conversation on the tweet machine about the Australian 16 and under law that got passed, or it's about to be passed, or it has been passed. It's got to be put in motion. Vault Music over on DLive. Oh my God, it's Gibbs. How are you? I'm well, Voltskis. How you doing? And I figured we could maybe start having that conversation. By the way, yeah, this is a Beam stream, but of course you can chat on any of the platforms that you damn well please, and the Beam Uni Chat brings them all together into one. I like that. But yeah, I'd encourage you to watch on. I'd encourage you to watch on Beam and chat on Kick. That'd be my recommendation, because on Kick, you can trigger the alerts. There's all kinds of alerts. You can't trigger those in the Beam Uni Chat, but you can trigger them on the Kick chat. So that'd be my recommendation. If you were asking. I know nobody did ask, but...
Hello there!
Hello there! Speaking of an alert, there's one right there. Toothboy right in my face. Hello there, the panel ho himself. How you doing, Dale, on the Kick machine? Good to see you. Yes. So just starting things off, I don't know about this So a lot of people are getting very upset with this. The law is you cannot be on social media if you're under the age of 16. And the response that I've seen from people in regards to this, and a lot of it Australians, so I mean it doesn't really affect anyone. It doesn't really affect anybody outside of Australia. You know, typically when these big sort of policies and laws come into practice, maybe it's in America, it'll trickle down and it will affect Australia, but it never happens the other way around. This law will only affect Australians. Well, you might say somewhere down the line it'll affect businesses because they won't have as many sign-ups, blah, 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 blah. Okay, maybe trickle, maybe a very... But ultimately, the responses I've seen from people has been just sort of along the lines of, you know, they can't do this, it's tyranny, it's this, it's that. And then I was thinking, what are they actually saying? Apparently NZ is following suit. Well, yeah, we're a joint. Australia and New Zealand are one and the other. But I mean, what are they actually saying? They're saying that kids under the age of 16 can't access social media. It doesn't seem all that bad, right? Like that seems like a pretty standard, pretty obvious, if anything, right? You should maybe, are they arguing the number? It should be 17 or it should be 18? Maybe it should be 18, 18's the typical age of becoming an adult, I guess, but 16, yeah, maybe the number, but I'm not seeing people getting upset with the number. I'm seeing people get upset with the simple fact of it. And then what's taken me by surprise is there's people been saying things like, it's like a digital ID. They're going to know everything about you. Like how old are you accessing this website? And I don't know, when I was thinking about that, I was thinking, don't they already know that though? Like every person that's born has to legally have a birth certificate. So you're already in the system. You're already registered the moment you're born. So like you can be tracked according to your age simply by checking the register of births. And that extends as to the next degree. If you die, there's a registry of deaths. So that's tracking your age, right? Like if the concept is they shouldn't be able to find out how old you are, they already know that shit, right? The moment you're born, they know that. And I don't know why having a government know your age, I don't know why that's a bad thing. And then the obvious next step would be someone would say, well, that's a stepping stone. They'll know your age, then they'll know about where you're going and they'll know everything you do. They do that as well. If you have one of these, they know where you are. Who do you think you're fooling? So you either have to just go, okay, for the good of the young people, they're not going to be on social media until they turn 16. But all this crying and boo-hooing about they're tracking us, they're taking away our liberties, that's always been the case. So, and by the way, unless you've got something to hide, unless you're doing the wrong thing, what do you care anyway? If you're just another ant in the system, another worker in the chain, right? What do you care? Like, the only people that care are those that are trying to do the shady thing and slip by unannounced and be under the radar. They're the ones that really are worried about it because they're probably going to get found out. In the chat on DLive, Volsky says, I used to come to your stream all the time back in the day before you went on your trip to be a tour guide. Before I went on a trip to be a tour guide. Huh. Is that how you consider my Uluru or my New Zealand trip? I never went anywhere to be a tour guide. MD in the house, yo, Benon and Dale, hey, what do you do? MD Wit, all good here. Daleski, paranoia will destroy you. Yeah, so like, unless I'm getting it wrong, and I probably am getting it wrong, I haven't really looked into the actual. All I've seen is what I've been seeing on Twitter, right? All I've seen is the scroll through and everyone in their hissy fit. And then I looked at what it said, and it said, anyone under the age of 16 won't be permitted on social media. And I was like, okay, that seems sort of okay. Like I said, you could argue the number. Maybe it should be 17, maybe it should be 18, maybe it should be 15. You can argue the number if you really wanted to, but the concept of having kids off social media, I mean, to be completely fair, it's not going to make an ounce of a difference, right? The kids, they know more shit than we do. There's VPNs, there's ways around it, there's cracked phones, like, you're not going to stop kids. And by the way, they can just do what they want anyway. They can always get through. Kids will find a way, right? And bless, because they're the future. They're the ones that, the kids, the very ones that we're stopping from accessing tech. Okay, you might say social media it's not really considered tech. I mean, what I'm saying is they're the ones that are going to be using it, as we progress and as everyone gets older. You've got to make way for the new kids, right? They're always going to be the next ones through. So I don't know. All I know is that I find it interesting when people get all antsy about it and they're typing away furiously on Twitter on their cell phone, which is like, Dude, are you really going to make that point using Twitter? Or are you going to use Facebook and bow down to Zuckerberg? What you're doing it on the thing that you're actively arguing against. And you might as well just put it all down and go and live on a desert island and be away from everybody if that's what you really want. I don't think that's what you want though. Let me just check something here. Is the YouTube chat coming across? Is this working? Because I am on a YouTube stream as well, but sometimes the uni chat doesn't work and it's not working right now. Yeah, Beam needs to get that shit fixed. Sometimes it works and other times it doesn't. And I'm talking about specifically the YouTube chat. So if you're watching on YouTube and you're chatting, unless I look over there and there at the same time and have eyes going both ways, I won't see it because I'm looking at the uni chat. Dale, I have questions about the deets, but it's easier in a voice. So we'll get to that. Yeah. You're in a very cold area where there was a lot of snow during IRL streams. Oh, that was New Zealand, dude. That was dude. Is that how long you've been away for? I've been back from New Zealand. Well, it wasn't the winter that's just gone, and it wasn't the winter before that. It was the winter before that. So arguably, that's three seasons ago. That's 3 years ago. So that's been a while. Where the hell have you been, dude? I've been streaming here. In between then and now, I've been out onto the outback of Australia for 43 days live streaming. Where did you go? You missed a good time. Voltsky, you can do whatever you want. I'm being silly. As long as you're over 16, you know. Don't do anything if you're under 16. And also, kids should be outside playing, right? They shouldn't be on their devices at 16. I'm being silly. They can do whatever they want. They will do whatever they want. This won't make any difference. I don't understand why everyone's getting all upset about it. Who cares? I say just deal with it, move on. Get a VPN. Who cares? And also, further to that, most kids on social media don't use their real details anyway, right? Because you're always told, don't do anything online because it's going to affect your chances of getting a job later on. So the kids that are online, they'll do it all anonymously or with a sock puppet or a fake account. They won't use their real details anyway. So that's a little, I guess that's a little launching pad for a discussion. And yeah, Dale said he would like to talk about that. We do have, I guess we've got a couple of links we could take here before we get into call-ins. Sock puppet, you say? Yeah, maybe Hendrik will call in. We could take a look at this little linky poop up first. Trump guitars hit with a cease and desist from Gibson over the use of a Les Paul body shape. Did Trump put out a guitar? Damn, dude. That's not him working on it, right? That's AI, surely. Update 11 out of 25. Oh, November 25th. America does their dates backwards. Gibson has confirmed to Guitar World that it has issued a cease and desist to Trump Guitars. The owner of that is 16 Creative over the use of its single-cut electric guitar model. The design infringes upon Gibson's exclusive trademark, particularly the iconic Les Paul body shape. Okay. There you go. Now might be the time to buy a Trump guitar and then sell the NFT of it. Here is a link from Dong Toto. Don't go to Brisbane. It sucks. Okay.
Why does my heart go on beating?
You can't fly a drone in a city. Who did this?
Why do these eyes of mine cry?
All right, look, let me preface this video. At its core, it's a love letter to Brisbane. I was born here and I've spent a lot of time in the city, and every few months Brisbane manages to pleasantly surprise me. You know, the lush green roads, the old Queenslanders, the charming nonsense of every turn and weave of the streets. I just want everyone to know that I've written this with love because what I'm about to say, well, it's the truth. And the truth is, Brisbane is shit. Ask anyone you know to list 5 good things about Brisbane. After naming the weather, West End and the fucking jacarandas, they'll just stand there like a stunned mullet trying to think of something, anything that doesn't make them look like a tool beater. And look, I'll happily acknowledge that there are some fantastic aspects of Brisbane, but you know the game Fuck, Marry, Kill? I want to do all 3 of those things to the city.
Your music's too loud, buddy. Just saying. Daleski, if Brisbane sucks, Detroit must be hell on earth. is there a Brisbane in Detroit? Is that what you're going for there? Or is Brisbane and Detroit like sister cities or something? By the way, this is the city of the 2032 games? Or is it 2036? We got Olympics coming to Brisbane.
All the time. Every day I go about Brisbane doing the same activities, and every day Brisbane finds new and interesting ways to shit me to tears. Honestly, it's ridiculous, and I'm torn as well, because while I genuinely do love the place, I feel like every second I live here drives me closer and closer to the day where they lock me up in an insane asylum and give me a frontal lobotomy. And we all know what they say about that. I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than a cock in my mouth. Not
Dude, why would you put your music that loud?
that there's anything wrong with having a cock in your mouth, mind you. Beer just tastes better. That is, of course, quite unlike car exhaust, which as we all know tastes even worse than beer and cock combined. You don't need to eat a catalytic converter to taste some engine excretions in Brisbane, because if you live anywhere near...
I'm sorry, dude. I can't watch your video. Your music is way too loud to your voice, so I just can't watch it. I refuse. I refuse. Sorry, buddy. Not sorry. Here is a video about Wi-Fi in Toothboy's Ghost Town, which I don't think we should watch because we want to watch that as it occurs on the Ghost Town Living channel. So instead of that, I'm going to go and grab a coffee, and when I come back, we can have a call-in. I mean, I didn't even ask. Dale, are you ready, or do you want me to continue doing other things until you are ready? And I've still got to give you the link. I've still got to fire it up anyway. But either way, I've got a surfing clip for you from yesterday. You're ready? Okay, cool. Well, yeah, I'll run the surfing clip. I'll grab a coffee. I'll fire up the old call-in machine, and we'll have Dale come on the line. You know what? It's been a long time since we've had call-ins. Are we going to have... There might be a little bit of faffing around we need to do. Hope not. I think we should be good, but I know oh, you know what's happened? I should have thought about this. I am no longer a paid member of Restream, so Restream will probably have changed their layout for me because I was paying for it. Now I'm getting the free service. We'll have to see how that looks. Should be okay, but we'll just wangle it. We'll wangle it, but it should be okay. Yeah, now that we've got Beam stream.gg, I don't need Restream, right? So I stopped paying for Restream and now I'm using Beam. But Beam doesn't give you the functionality of having call-ins, panel discussions. I don't think it does. Anyway, we'll work it out. We'll work it out. But I'll be back shortly. Enjoy this surfing clip from yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. I was trying to get the left. Didn't really work, but I tried hard. All right, there we are. Good timing. Coffee, probably a little too hot to drink. And setting up here for a call-in. Let me give a little linky poo to the panel ho. I will just... Oh, hold on a second. Now I'm using the free service. How many guests can I have? Invite up to 6 guests, upgrade for more, but I don't need any more than that. That's okay. That's for the free service. Here is the link, Daleski. I just gave it to you. I haven't done this in a while. Let me just do a little test. If I go over here, okay, that's not what I wanted. It's a little funkified. Oh, I know why that is. Hold on a second. This should fix that. Okay. Oh, so there's a logo. Okay, so that looks like what's happened. I now have a Restream logo. Oh, can I get rid of it? Upgrade your plan to replace the watermark. Okay, so you got the Restream logo there for shits and giggles. Is the audio good? Is everything fine here? I can just check, by the way. I can just check here. Let me just check. Is everything fine here? It looks good. Sounds good. Yeah. Just check, by the way. Wait. Let me just check. Is everything fine here? It looks good. Sounds good. What? Yeah. Oh, it seems like... Are we out of sync? No. That's just the delay coming from there, right? Let me just check. What? Oh, it seems like... Are we out of sync? No. That's just the delay coming from... It seems like it's really out of sync. I think we're... really out of, or it could just be this. Let me just check this. I'll just check it on a. No, that was weird. My iPad was really out of time. That's all good. Who did that on DLive? Who just subbed? Yo, Vault Music back with a sub. Thanks, Voltskis. Now, I won't know. Well, I will know. I don't know. This is, like I said, things have changed here. So when you join, I guess I'll just get a notification in the green room, right? I don't see you there yet. Thanks, Voltsky. Thank you on DLive for the sub, dude. Thank you, man. Yeah, I'm going to be using sooner than later, I'm going to swap to Stream Tools. You're in the green room, are you really? I don't see... Okay. That's all changed. Let me just get off there for a second in case I do something wrong, but I don't see the green room there at all. No. Invite a guest. Where is the green room? Oh, it's moved. They've moved it to the right. Okay. It has changed, and it's all on that side now. It used to be on this side. It's on this side now. So I can see Dale. I think it should just bring you in like this. Yeah, Blue screen static as per usual. How you doing, man?
What I do?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Now, why don't I
What's
hear
wrong?
you? Are you
Test,
saying
test.
anything?
I'm talking.
Now, this could be an issue at my end, but I don't hear Dale. Sugar Dale bold. MD
Test,
Wits, I
test.
hear you both. Okay, so that's cool. Thank you, MD, for saying that. Thank you for saying that, because that means it's at my end and I can just adjust my loop back to bring that back in. That's an easy fix. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, I'm glad it's not at your end as well, Dale. And I kind of thought there might have been some sort of little loop back tweaks that we got to fix here. Shouldn't be a problem. Let me just pull it in. Okay. Give me some audio there, Dale.
What I do?
Okay, I can hear you. I got a little double up of myself, but that doesn't, as long as the stream doesn't hear a double up, I'm happy with that. Can you hear?
I'm not getting a double up from either one of us. So.
Okay, good. I think that's just local at my end, and I think I know. I mean, we've been down. We've been down this road before, and I think I know what it is. It's 5x5. Thank you, MD. Okay, so I'll just let that. I'll just delete this, I think, and I think we should be good. Do you know what? I'll just leave it at that. I'm good.
Do.
So, sorry, Volsky, to answer your question, how often do you stream now? What is your schedule? So I don't actually have a schedule. I just stream whenever I'm available. And so it's kind of the same as it was, but it's not as much as it was. So it's the same times as it used to be, but it's less of those times. It's nice to hear your voice, Dale. It's been a while.
Yeah. Right back at you.
Yeah. I mean, it must have been months before. I mean, the trip was for 43 days, and then it's been a few months since then, and then before it would have been a month or so before the last call in. So it's been about 6 months minimum.
Yeah, it's been a while. Time flies, eh?
Yeah. How's your love lot? How's your girl going? You're in a relationship. You still are?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Everything's better than I could possibly hope for. So
happy times. Congrats.
Still blows my mind. Fuck.
When are we going to meet Miss Blue Screen? She'll come on as another blue screen. You'll be like, there she is. What are you talking about? She's right there.
Who says you haven't met her?
Ah, interesting. Very interesting. Well, I'm going to go with saying I haven't met her, so I'll back out of that one.
Oh, I didn't say you have. I'm just fucking around.
I like how you do that. So, I mean, let's go back. There was a time, I was thinking, how do I broach this? Beamstream.gg, because we're on Beam and we're enjoying it. What?
Yeah, I'm curious. How are you liking it?
There are definitely things that need addressing, and I'm pretty sure that they are being addressed. They seem like they're pretty quick to respond and quick to act. And yeah, it's been seamless with a few hiccups at the start.
Yeah, I mean, I'm impressed. I don't know how many friggin' platforms I've been on in the past 7 or 8 years, but I think they're doing a really good job of, as you said, addressing problems quickly. I am a little familiar with the direction Beam is heading, which I can't really get into, but I think it's going to be interesting, man. I really like the concept. It's basically just a place that everybody can come into, and you can use, you can save money on Restream.io, and you can stream to as many platforms as you want. You can just chat or interact with people, and you don't necessarily have to leave a platform. It's just sort of central hub, a connection point, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So I like that.
That's the beauty of it, because for a lot of use case, like Restream.io, I'm now using the free tier of it, and there's branding there. You see the Restream logo, and they also restrict, or they only allow a single RTMP server. So you can plug into. I got one on their Facebook, and my apologies. You can't, on the free tier, you can't add even one RTMP. And the difference there with Beam, it's unlimited, as far as I can tell, unlimited RTMP servers. So, yeah.
Okay, speak English. What the fuck is an RTMP server?
So a destination. So when you stream, you're going to send it somewhere, and the ingest, if it's not already set up through an API, so like the Beam developers can plug into the API and say, oh, you want to stream to DLive? Yeah, just press this button and that takes care of that. But if it's a strange website that doesn't have the API feature, then you've got to plug in the server and the stream key manually, and that's done through the protocol of RTMP. And yeah, it's not a big thing, but the the core difference is, even when you were doing it with a paid subscription on Restream, you could only do a certain amount of them. I think it was one RTMP server. So yeah, I'm noticing that as a huge difference.
I really like the UniChat feature.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. However, I will say that doesn't work all the time. So right now it's not pulling in my YouTube chat, and sometimes it does, and other times it doesn't. So
yeah, I'm noticing I'm watching you on Kick, and I don't see any of the conversation on the stream the way you normally have it.
I don't have the real estate on the screen when I have panel discussions. So I've just removed the UniChat. Otherwise, it would be covering up half the screen.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I can work on. Yeah, I'm going to be swapping out from Restream to. I'm actually going to be swapping from Go Lightstream to another platform called Stream Tools. I don't know if you've heard of Stream Tools.
Sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah, it's a common name, I guess. Like, it's pretty obvious branding name, but they have, for $10 a month, they have the stream failover, like the bitrate failsafe, and that's a feature that I'm paying Go Lightstream $400 a year for. And so Go Lightstream allows you to plug in your different browser source URLs. It's got the bitrate failsafe. It's also got the ability to have call-ins, but so does Stream Tools. And so I'm going to swap out the Stream Tools and just see. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But
yeah, interesting.
All this technical jargon and technical talk, but that's why it's interesting that it was you and Hendrik that came to me with Beamstream while I was on the road. How did you guys hear about it?
Well, that's actually kind of an interesting story. I'm not sure how deeply I should get into all that, but I first became aware of it around the time you were getting ready to head out on your trip, actually.
That makes sense.
All right, so I wanted to let you know during your expedition out to Uluru and back. But the thing is, I kept thinking, well, he's busy, and I'll just wait till he gets home.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then Hendrik and I believe it was Net TV actually were both kind of like, we'll just tell him now. Yeah. So toward the end of the trip, I think we all started kind of dropping hints in your chat, because by then you were sort of on your own, and
more time to just sit back and I think there was one time, where was it? Combo Waterholes, where I was just sitting there and it was like, yeah, let's just have a chat. And then someone was like, well, why don't you try Beam?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you guys had dropped the name a few times and I was like, I keep seeing this name, Beamstream. I'm like, what is Beam? What is Beam? I thought you guys were having a laugh. Like, you were like, Jack Daniels and Jim Beam are like two competitors, and Jim Beam is awful and Jack Daniels is nice. I thought you guys were just making a gag at that at first.
Oh, yeah, that's funny, actually. My name on Beam is Balance Beam Bold.
I remember you said that.
Yeah. So that got a giggle out of Angel.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You've got some you got some connection there, right? Like I don't know how much you can speak, but you are connected to the platform somehow.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you've always been kind of hinting at that other times, but never really expanded on it. So whenever you're ready to expand or whatever it is, we'll listen.
You know, maybe at the end of our lifetimes when I'm in the old folks' home, I'll spill the beans.
Direction-wise,
I would only refer you to the public
right now, but they are extremely responsive. Did we just go off? What happened?
I think you're still alive. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, your screen's frozen.
It's weird.
On Kick. Yeah, you're. It says you're offline now. That's weird.
That's very weird. Yep.
I wonder if it's doing that thing where Kick kicks you.
I'm looking at everything here at my end. There's no change.
It looks like you're live on DLive.
That's weird, folks. I'm looking at my stream here, and it says there's literally no change, but Beam says it's only been live for 38 seconds. So it's funny that we were talking about that. I'm just looking at my YouTube stream. The YouTube is still up though.
Huh. And DLive is still up.
I won't touch anything. I'll let Beam sort of resolve itself if that's what it's going to do.
You can hear me, right?
Yeah. There's no internet connectivity issues.
Okay. Yeah. So your Kick stream is offline, but it looks like your DLive is on.
Interesting. And the YouTube is still up as well. Very interesting. This is what I was saying at the beginning. There are some flaws that look like they're being addressed. Just give me 1 sec, man. I'm going to put my AC on. It's buffering hard on Kick. Yeah, right. Interesting.
Huh.
Well, at that point, I'd just say maybe go and check it out on check the stream on YouTube. Oh, but then we can't do the Kick stuff, can we? What would I recommend?
Is this sort of the same issue that you were having? Remember when some of those streams Kick kept starting and stopping and starting and stopping?
Yeah, a while ago that was certainly an issue. I thought that they'd resolved that.
Was that a Kick issue or was it something else?
Actually, that was DLive, and DLive was. Oh no, sorry, you're right. It was Kick, but there was also a time when DLive didn't take the audio; it only took the video for some reason. See, when this kind of stuff happens on a new platform, I don't really try to dissect it all too much because I figure that they are, they're in a learning phase, and I'll just let them learn.
Right, and they're likely aware of the problem, but they're just probably working it. So.
Yeah. But what it does concern me is when I look down and I see, like I can see my YouTube studio is still 100% streaming, but yet through Restream, oddly enough, that's not even on. So should I go through and toggle my streams on and off in the Beam Stream multi-stream panel, or should I just leave it? Don't know.
Up to you.
I'll just check Kick myself at my end. I might just stop and start Kick. See, it says it's still streaming on Kick. Weird. It looks fine on Kick right now. I might just not do anything. Excuse me.
Let me refresh Kick and see if it's back. Oh, I just refreshed and you're back.
Yeah, me too. Okay, so we won't worry about it. We'll just let it do its thing. We'll let it sort of settle itself down. Refresh those trousers.
Yeah.
I'll just put that in all chats. Refresh your trousers. That should fix it. Yeah. It was interesting. That's going to be weird. That's going to be weird. It was very interesting timing though when that happened.
I know, right?
Yeah, don't touch anything. It's working. When things like this happen, it's like, okay, just don't touch it.
Pretty much.
By the way, I know what that was. I think I know what that was. Oh, I can't do it on this screen. Hold on a second. Let me just. I know what that audio issue for me is. It's my audio inside. I think echo cancellation. Did that?
Yeah,
fix
remember
it?
You figured it out one time.
Yeah. I think that was it.
Now I'm getting echo of myself.
No, okay, I know what it was. Okay, we'll just leave it. Well, I won't worry about it. I just thought I could just fix it on the fly. It's all good. So now that we're back up and everything's running accordingly, let me ask you about, we touched a little crypto in the Discord. Tuah, what's your take on meme coins in general, and what's your take on this Haley Welch coin?
Well, oh boy. I mean, personally, I don't mess with meme coins. It's just not for me. But if other people want to dabble in it, I mean, it is interesting. I just personally, if I'm going to invest my hard-earned money in something, it's got to have some substance to it. I tend to avoid all this sort of the flavor of the month hype crap, because it can disappear at any time, and I just I'd invest in Solana before I invested in Tuah. Solana is interesting. I did a little bit of looking into Solana recently. But look, everybody has to decide for themselves, right? So there's this concept in investing called risk tolerance, and basically everybody's risk tolerance is up to them. You have to decide how much risk you want to take on. High risk, high reward, or high risk, you lose it all.
High risk, high risk.
Right. So it depends on. I'm not much of a gambler. I prefer solid, steady returns, and it's worked for me, so I'm gonna stay with that.
Yeah, it's interesting. You said if you're going to invest your own money, you're not going to go in on those high risk gambles, basically. But if it's, and this is where I'm going to head with this, if it's not your money, so like
right,
yeah, the money I'm going to dump on Tuah is the money that basically DLive gave from the token incentive, the streamer incentive, the Ape NFT token. I'm going to dump all that into Solana, and then I'm going to dump all that into, or not all of it. No, yeah, all of it actually. So there's this grass token, and then there's this Ape NFT token, and both of them, I mean, the grass token was worth about $400. The Ape NFT token will be worth about 400 in total. And I see that as a substantial amount. Not all the grass I'll use, but I'll probably go in total about $600. I'll dump onto this Tuah thing and just ride it for what it's worth. It'll be one of those ones that you watch, and when it pumps, you sell. You're not holding that shit. You're getting rid of it, right?
Very good.
Yeah.
Ooh, very, very good, dude.
I'm not encouraging trading, or I'm not suggesting I'm a trader, but I know when you see a meme, because there is, like, I've been asking almost daily in the Discord it's called Over Here. I've been asking daily for the white paper, and people are like, nah.
There is none.
There isn't one. I'm like, I know that it's a meme coin, and there's no tokenomics, there's no use case here. It's just because of her that this thing even exists. But shouldn't we have something on paper, like something to say what this is? It's at the moment, it's just I'm releasing a token. It's called Tuah. That's it. It just seems...
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting concept. That interview with Mark Cuban I found quite interesting. She's riding the wave. She's out of the blue. She's now world famous, and she's like, well, I'm gonna fucking monetize that shit. So good for her.
Yeah, and I guess that's why I feel like it's gonna be a surefire. Like it's definitely gonna hit, just because of who it is.
Well, and especially because the entire crypto landscape has changed dramatically in the last few months
because of Trump.
Well, mainly that's a big part of it. But yeah, so all of a sudden now you've got institutional investors going, you know what, this looks like a thing, and we missed the first decade or so. let's not miss out on a potential really important, early investment. It's still the early days of crypto. People don't seem to understand that.
For sure.
Crypto's still relatively new.
For
And
sure.
I tend to agree with you that it's the currency of the future. I think it's going to take a little longer to get there than a lot of people thought. Kind of like I remember a few years ago, everybody saying, oh, in a few years, everybody's going to be driving all electric vehicles. Nah, no, they're not. It's going to take a while.
That step to get to everyone will take longer than what everybody thinks.
Right. So the big thing in the United States now is called a hybrid, where it's partial battery and partial gasoline engine.
Yep.
So you've got the range. You don't have to worry about, if you go on a long trip, you don't have to worry about, charging your fucking battery every 3 or 4 hours. You can go on a 10-hour drive and not freak out.
Yep.
And it's just sort of the best of both worlds. So
that's interesting. I did see a few Tesla superchargers on the way out there in Uluru, I mean, I wasn't looking for them, but I did notice them, but they weren't everywhere. So I feel like those chargers were for people that live in those towns that have a Tesla, not for people that are traveling through the area in a Tesla, because they were too far and few in between. You wouldn't make it.
Well, right, and then you've got the issue of you got to sit there for an hour or two to charge, and nobody wants to sit there for a fucking hour or two and weather.
I think the superchargers are quicker than that. If I understand correctly, I don't think it's quite that long anymore.
Well, the technology is moving forward, and that's good. So we'll see. I mean, eventually, yeah, it's going to be. That's the future, but it's just a question of being, realistic about the timeline of everything.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of white papers, do you know if Doge has a white paper?
Oh, I am definitely the wrong person to ask about that. I have no clue.
Yeah, okay. I just wonder how many meme coins actually do publish a white paper with tokenomics. I think that's the main thing that I'm concerned with, or not concerned with, but interested in. When I did a little deep dive into that token, the Hoktui token, we had a look on chain at the first couple of transactions, and it looked like she had, and I'm assuming it's her, but it could be, a fund that controls her actions and she gives the approval. But anyway, the only person. So the first transaction is 10 trillion tokens got minted into existence. Then that mint wallet sends all 10 trillion of those tokens to another wallet, which we then assume is Haley Welch's wallet. She holds the token supply, 10 trillion, until December 4 or December 5 when it starts trading. So we can, and I haven't done it, I should go back in and check it again, but I haven't been back in, but we can go and then see what happens with all those tokens from the start. But what would be really rad to see, and what would be really important to see, is what the actual plan is. Like she's got these tokens, she's giving them out to social media people right now. She's obviously going to pump the value of it. But then what are we going to see? Are we going to see the classic dumpathon, right? Is it going Is it going to dump immediately, or is it going to be? Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it'd be rad to be able to go to a white paper. Yo, thanks, Sugar Dale Bell. Hey, that's Sugar Dale. Thank you, man. It'd be rad to be able to go and look at the tokenomics of it and say, okay, let's see if this is what actually does happen here. Yeah.
Well, that was my initial issue. Well, one of my initial issues with DLive back in the day. Remember DLive in the Lino days? I'm not sure if you remember that or not.
I do, indeed.
And everybody was fucking hype, right? And I was too at first. And then I'm like, okay, well, I want to see the white paper. And everybody's telling me, shut the fuck up, Dale. And I'm like, no. I was a lot like you. I was asking valid questions, and people were like jumping on my ass. And
remind me though, there was a white paper. I remember reading.
Not at first.
A roadmap. Yeah.
Not at first. There wasn't. And that's a huge fucking red flag for me because that just screams potential scam, right?
For sure, for sure. Yo, just
So,
Rev on DLive. How you doing, man? Melody as well.
Yeah. Melody is MD Wit.
MD Wit
Same.
over on DLive. Sorry, on
Yeah.
Kick, and Melody. Melody, I like that.
And just Rev, of course, is Rev Jim.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I am seeing the chat. I've got the uni chat open here, but I know it's not on screen. But yeah, back up for that Lino testnet era. Are you and it was before my time when it started, but are you saying that project launched without a white paper as well?
That project. Define that project.
Lino as a concept.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Okay. I mean, that's weird.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's really weird.
Yes, it most certainly is.
So
Yeah.
So refresh me again. Before
That's gonna be weird.
That's gonna be weird. Before DLive was using Lino, they were on the Steemit blockchain,
That's correct.
and so Lino launched irrespective of DLive, but DLive took it on board as the main use case for Lino. Would that be right?
I didn't quite follow what you were saying there. Try again.
What was Lino being used for before DLive?
Ooh, shit. That's a good question. I don't really. If somebody mentioned it to me, I'd be like, yeah, that's right. But I don't. Honestly, this is like 7+ years ago, dude.
Yeah.
I barely remember. Yeah.
I'm just
I don't
wondering
remember.
where the distribution went. Like, how did there become Lino whales? Let's just say, you know.
Yeah. You see, I can't get into all that.
Yeah, and I mean that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I would like to see a white paper for this Hok Tui thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See,
And
that's the thing, because then this is okay. Now we're getting into it.
Yeah.
The question is, who are the people pulling the strings? Who are the people that are getting the inside information? And yeah.
Yep.
So.
And when you said that interview she did on the Mark Cuban show, I don't know if I didn't watch the whole thing, but I just watched the crypto bit at the very end, and she said that she had created a phantom wallet and lost the keys to it. And so if I went straight to the block explorer for Solana and punched in the contract address for Hok Tui, you see her, or what you assume is her, with the only address with all the tokens in it. So if she's playing dumb, like, oh, I don't know anything about crypto, well, you obviously do, because you say that you had a wallet with a lot of coins in it and all of a sudden it's gone, but there's another one there that we all assume is you because it's your name and your token. If it's not you, who else would it be?
All right, so I'm gonna throw this is a hypothetical scenario out at you just to make you go, All right, there's a thing in law called a lie of omission, right? Where you can just play dumb and act like you don't know.
Right.
And maybe you don't know. Maybe some person that she trusts does have her initial stream key, right? So she can claim, I lost, I don't remember. She can be completely honest about that. Doesn't mean she's telling you the whole truth, though, right?
Oh.
See what I'm saying?
So unless
Now look, I'm not accusing anybody of anything. I'm just saying I've seen a lot of shit in my legal lifetime. I'll put it that way, and nothing would surprise me anymore.
Are you saying that unless someone asked her directly, do you have the seed phrase for that initial wallet, or does
somebody you know have it and you are intentionally not knowing it because you trust that person?
Yes, yeah, I see where you're going.
Yeah. And that kind of shit happens, believe it or not, that happens in the business world a lot more than you think.
Right. Okay, well, with that in mind, you have to lean towards her being truthful at this point, because she hasn't done anything to warrant otherwise any other thoughts, right? She hasn't got a checkered past.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's why I I kind of believe what she was saying because she came off as being a typical ditzy young woman in that fucking interview. I was just like, holy crap.
Right.
So she can honestly say, I lost my, seed phrase. But again, that doesn't change and again, I'm not accusing anybody of anything. I'm just saying it's a possibility.
Yeah.
There's other possibilities too, but.
Also, it should be noted here that we're not, well, I'm not, and I'm pretty sure Dale's not, we're not talking about her losing a wallet linked to Hok Tui. That's not what we're saying. What I was saying was that she said that she was so new to crypto, she had a wallet, a phantom wallet, and in her words, it was pretty well loaded with a lot of coins. Doesn't say what coins they were, more than likely Solana. And she said she just lost the seed phrase. She didn't know about it. She doesn't know where it is. So, and then I said, well, if you're that new to crypto, you're launching a token. The only wallet that's on the chain right now, as of 2 days ago, it might have changed since then, was one wallet that minted all the tokens into existence and then sent them to another wallet. Now, I'm hoping she wrote down the seed phrase for that wallet.
I know, right?
If all the supply's in there, she better back that shit up, hey?
Yeah.
And
you
by the way,
you might want to store that in several locations,
exactly,
not just one.
Yeah. And she might need, like, she's offering. See, I don't even know. Like, what is she offering? Like, is she offering a token with value and therefore a security? What do we got here? Without a white paper, we don't even. That's why I don't understand why everybody's frothing over it. They're like, "Oh, we've got to do this, we've got to do that," and they're all going ape shit for it. We don't even know what it is, though.
Well, yeah, I agree.
And is that just old man yelling at clouds? Like we need.
No,
I need more substance.
That's smart man not being a sucker.
But it's also a bit of FOMO because as we draw closer to the 4th or the 5th of December, whenever it is, I'm looking at that over here Discord daily to try to find a white paper so I can study it and do the right thing. And I'm getting a little anxious as we draw closer and there's still no white paper. What?
White papers generally are written by lawyers.
But isn't the white paper just like a regular Joe's outline of the project?
Basically. I mean, damn, I wasn't prepared to do a deep dive on white papers, but that's pretty much it. But it does, and it might be different in every country too, because a white paper in the United States has to follow certain, I'm not sure if it's rules or laws or what, but you're basically spelling out the roadmap of what your business stands for, where it's going, how it functions,
yes.
all that.
Yes.
So, and for any business, larger than like a mom and pop stand, to not have a white paper these days is very, what's the term the kids use these days? Very sus.
Very
right?
shady.
Yeah.
It's like a mission statement, but it's more than that.
Right.
It's a mission statement that outlines, in terms of crypto, it outlines the distribution, the initial distribution, which is pretty critical, where those tokens go and why they go there. And then how much the public is allocated upon sale. So,
right.
Yeah. But it's just funny that no one's really caring. Do you know what, man? Like, okay, Haley Welch, she's a random chick. She's on the street. Someone walks up to her and says, what was the thing? What's one advice you'd give to a guy? No, what was the actual question that she got asked? What can you do to a guy to impress them? What was that? Was that the actual question?
I have no idea.
Let's be clear. Like, for those that don't know or don't remember, she was asked. I mean, it sounds crazy to even say this, but she was asked on the street, "What is a thing you can do to your male sexual partner that he's going to like?" And she says, "Well, you got to spit on it." And she's basically saying, when you're going down on your bloke, You got to hock up and spit on it and spit on that
Oh,
thing.
right. Yeah, that was it. Yeah. I
So
forgot about
that in it, yeah, that in itself is like, it's pretty divisive. Like you know, she got a young girl on the street being asked about a sexual question, yet now we've got this internet celebrity based upon the answer that she gave while drinking off the cuff. I mean, could we have made a "I just farted" token? You know,
let's be clear: young woman, not young girl.
All right. Young female, young woman, yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, like it's no different than that "I just farted" chick that was on my stream, right? Just so
they're both beautiful young women, yes, but let's face it, one is one has a very positive, it gets people's interest when you start talking about sexual things that people enjoy, and another one's like a fart. That's just like, ugh,
Some people might like that though. Like, could be.
Okay. I don't think you're going to get a big audience for that, but. Hey, different strokes for different folks, I guess.
I agree with you. One's more favorable, but the idea of what happened and where it went,
things that go viral, you often can't predict. It just happens. Everybody does like, oh fuck yeah. Sometimes it's timing. Sometimes it's just, the stars are aligned. Who knows? But when it kicks off, it's like, well, fuck yeah, that's interesting, and it just, all of a sudden everybody on the planet's, oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, pretty girl, likable face, likable character, funny. She made a sound. It's a bit silly. It's all over and done with in 10 seconds. Would it have been okay? Oh shit, this is a bit controversial.
Uh-oh.
What would have happened?
Let me sit down.
If it was a dude that said, "Oh, you gotta spit on that thing, huck too," onto that thing, would the rest of the world be like, "Yeah, huck tooey"? Is it because it's a girl talking about it? Interesting.
Okay. Here's my take on that. Okay. I remember back in the day, way back in the dark ages, I used to be a bartender. Right. And I was good at it, and I made really good money doing it. Nowadays, if you're a guy in the United States, at least in this area, getting a job as a bartender, good luck with that. Because now it's all young women with, cleavage and a beautiful face. It's a man's world, my ass. It's a fucking beautiful young woman's world. You got the fucking world by the balls if you're a half intelligent, beautiful young woman these days.
Are you giving credence to what I just said then? So it wouldn't have flown if it was... Yeah, okay.
Basically, yeah. I agree with you, yeah. It is interesting. I mean, you can get really controversial and talk about all the, women in bikini streams and shit like that. Nobody wants to watch some guy in a fucking hot tub in a G-string. At least not...
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've thought about it. I've thought about doing it.
Oh my god!
Just
oh shit, dude!
Just for equality's sake, like, why can't we? Like, it's not. Yeah.
I would mock the fuck out of you if you did.
But would you watch?
Probably.
That's what I'm saying, right? So there we go. Mayonnaise, wow!
at least for a few minutes.
Yeah, out of curiosity, if anything, yeah.
Oh shit! And Alicia's here.
Alicia?
Dreamwalking Angel. That's Alicia. She's a sweetheart. I've known her for years.
Wait, where did you see that?
On your DLive.
She didn't chat though. I didn't see it come up as a chat.
She sent you a couple of whatever.
Oh, that was thank you, Nalisha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, they were the mayonnaises, the ice creams, the lemons. Right. So yeah, I guess we're both in agreement there. It's Dreamwalking Angel laughing about the hot tub. Yeah. It's a
should I bring up a certain shower stream, Alicia?
Yes.
And I'm not talking about Hendrix shower stream.
Oh, what have I missed there?
See?
Nalisha, and I've been here before. Nalisha's a lovely name.
Yeah, I like it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this takes me way back. Damn, like 4 years, maybe 5.
Okay. So the ending of DLive. You know what's interesting about DLive? It hasn't died, has it? It's still there. It's still moving, DLive.
Alive and kicking.
A lot of kicking against
or
kick.
thumping.
Yeah, interesting.
Yep.
So just to finalize this Hoktui kind of conversation, the idea of it is just to capitalize on the virality of this sensation. It won't last forever. There is a lot of people that really, really like her. She's gone on to create this Paws Across America, or Paws for America, this charity foundation for animals. She's doing she's using her platform for good. Now, the way I see it going, and the way I think, if the internet's taught me anything, where it will probably go, and you might think I'm way off target here, but she'll announce this coin, it'll all start selling, things will start moving, it'll go up, go down, go up, go down, people make a lot of money. Then she'll announce her OnlyFans account. Mark my words. Her OnlyFans account. That thing will skyrocket. She'll hold off on putting content on OnlyFans. And when she does, it won't be sexual of nature. It'll be everything up to. It'll be a tease. And then everybody that fell for her will abuse her, and she'll lose all of her credibility, and it'll all be over. That's where I reckon it goes.
You know, that's an interesting. I hadn't thought about that. But if she's just in it for a quick buck, she'll probably be a millionaire very soon.
I don't think. I don't think she's in it just for the money. I think she's in it I think she's in it for the right reasons. She seems like a pretty level-headed person. But what she will do, she'll use what's out there for her, and what's out there for a pretty female, OnlyFans. But you don't have to, and I've always said this, you don't have to do sexual stuff on OnlyFans. But just the idea of her launching an OnlyFans, that'll send the internet into an absolute, is she going to Hoktui on it? I can't wait for the Hoktui to Hoktui. People will go mad for it. And that token will fucking fly off the handle. And then
it's actually that's dude, that's very smart.
She'll rope us all in.
Disappointed that I hadn't thought of that.
That's why I think that, and again, not financial advice, but that's why I think this token is worth looking into, because she has everybody, funnily enough, by the balls right now.
Right? Yeah.
She's got everybody right where she wants them, and she can dangle and do whatever she wants with it. We all want her to Hoktui it, but she won't do that. I don't think she will, but I reckon she'll use every mechanism to lead us to believe that that's what we're going to get. And then it'll be like, I don't know, it'll be like Sharon Stone in Basic Instinct. You think you can see something. What was that? And then it'll be it.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I tend to agree with you, actually.
And then it will all be over, but it'll have been a fun ride, and people will have made money off of it.
Well, fuck, dude, this is not the conversation I expected we were going to have, but hey, well, let's just go with it.
We can turn this into anything. I'm just down for a chat, you know.
Yeah, I know. It's been a while, and I mean, I'm not complaining. It's always fun with you, man. But sometimes the the improvisation where you just go where the conversation goes is fun.
Absolutely. Dreamwalking Angel, you can do that on OnlyFans. I thought you had to go all the way. Not at all. People use OnlyFans. I know of creators that use OnlyFans because they don't want to use Patreon. Patreon used to have some issues with payment plans and different payment gateways. PayPal was having some issues and blah, blah, blah. And OnlyFans, they're quite literally, I mean, there's still limits on OnlyFans. You know, there are certain things that cannot be done. But by and far, most of the stuff that you want to do you can do on OnlyFans, including just regular run-of-the-mill content. It's OnlyFans. It doesn't say it's not sexual. It doesn't have to be. But if you want to do that, you can. And I personally think that that's great. Like, I think that's what it should be. It should be, we're all adults. We can choose what we want to do. And yeah, platforms come, platforms go. And there's one that's, man, if OnlyFans went social, like a social network kind of thing, dude, be all over for Twitter at that point. No one would. People use Twitter to bring people to their OnlyFans. Imagine OnlyFans had a social media element like Twitter. It'll all be in-house. Be amazing.
Quick fun fact about Nelisha. I'm
Yes.
just now remembering. One of my might have been my very first knowledge of her. It was definitely one of the very first times I ever became aware of her, because I was friends with some other people that she was friends with at the time.
Okay.
And this was early 2020, and she started doing these because she does a lot of crafts and stuff, and she was making these custom handmade masks early COVID days when everybody was freaking out and there weren't enough masks.
Huh.
And she was just, I'll let her explain in chat if she wants, but I thought that was pretty fucking cool, frankly, at the time.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So when everybody
Because there weren't many people doing that, and she was. So.
Yeah. Was Nelisha, were you selling those, marketing them, or was it just like a little, I'm
I
at
think
home?
she was giving them away, if I remember correctly.
Rad.
Which is even more impressive.
That's, yeah, I mean, COVID forced us all to sort of stay indoors and be creative. And if you can keep yourself and your brain occupied, you can get through, the worst of the lockdowns. Wasn't that a strange time?
You got to put your mind back in where the world was at that time. Everybody was freaking out and sort of scared. It's like, fuck, people are dying. But instead of sitting there and being like afraid, she was putting her energy toward creating something that could possibly save your life.
Yeah.
Which is really fucking cool, So,
she says they went out all across the world. I wasn't selling them. I made them for everyone in the hospitals. They were short on PPE. Yeah, rad.
Right, yeah.
So, is that something that, Nelisha, is that something that you were already aware of how to do, or did you teach yourself that during the lockdown?
Hey, while you guys are chatting real quick, I'm going to take a quick pee. I'll be right back.
Yeah, no worries. You taught people how to sew online. Oh, wow. So I'm assuming you're on DLive streaming. How come I never saw you? I mean, that was primo DLive, or that was just outside of the end of the golden era. 2020, 2019, COVID-19, late 2019, 2020, and then 2021. I guess I was in New Zealand 2021. Yeah, it was an interesting time to be part of, like the online sort of. Yeah, the people that were online, the streamers that were active before COVID, really kind of hit their stride when COVID kicked in, because all of a sudden you had the whole planet having to stay home. And once you'd used up all of your Netflix, once you'd watched it all, there wasn't anything else but to go and look at who's streaming live. People were like, what's live streaming? But after COVID, everybody knew what live streaming was. It was great. It was a really, if I could put like a silver lining on it, like make it look good, that was a good time. As bad as it was still a good time. I've known to sew since I was a child. I was on DLive. I've been on your channel several times before. Okay, cool. I was streaming right before COVID. I made all types of art since then. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
All right, so an interesting angle on this.
Yes.
Which I just thought of. Okay, this is the beauty of streaming. There's an infinite number of ways for a streamer to get noticed, if you will. You can do all kinds of stuff. Now, it comes down to a lot of things. What are your intentions? Do you want to become famous or not? A lot of people don't. A lot of people do. Are you doing it just to sort of feel like you're, helping out friends or providing a service. Like for me, what I enjoy is panels and music. I love being a guest DJ,
Yeah.
which I'm going to make a comment on here in a few minutes.
Yeah.
So we all have our own reasons for why we go online, right? But it's always cool if you can, give something, gives a minute,
Yes.
to others that people enjoy. And it's important to, be a giver,
Dude,
in some way.
that's quite literally where my mantra or my catchphrase from the DLive days came from,
Right.
That's
Yeah,
why
I
I
know.
give you my time, you give me your time. It's a two-way street, like we've all got time. Can we give it though? Can we give our time? Yeah. Not everybody can give money, but you can definitely give time. Speaking of
Right.
time, hey Luke in the YouTube chat. Hey B man, how you doing, Luke? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so Dreamwalking Angel, Alicia, she doesn't realize that you pronounce angel or angle. You pronounce it angel sometimes.
I do it. There's no rhyme
Yeah.
or reason to it. It's just whatever comes out of my stupid head at the time.
Yeah.
Do you know what
and,
I'll tell you?
and her name is Dreamwalking Angel, so that's why she thought that was interesting.
It's confused me because of Angel at Beam.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that has
I didn't
confused.
I didn't even think about that.
Whenever I go to say it, I'm always tripping myself up thinking, am I saying his name or am I saying the funny one? Because his name's
Well-
Angel, but usually I use Angel when I should say Angle. And that seems strange. But then when I do it, I'm like, oh, that's his name though. And then I think that's even weirder.
Well, get this. You want to talk about weird? For the first several weeks, I thought Angel was a female.
I mean, yeah, easy mistake to make. Easy mistake to make. Dreamwalking angle is going to be weird. That is going to get weird. I rarely show my face, most exclusively my hands, and I chair dance with my hands and my body while making art for hours. I chair danced.
Yeah, I remember all that. Oh God, the good old days.
Wow.
I still
chair
stay in
danced.
touch with Mr. B, by the way. I don't know if you remember him.
Mr. B,
Bennett.
yes, I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. B.
He's one of the few people who has actually been to my home, actually.
Huh. How did you do that with the blue screen thing? Did you just open the door with the blue bit of cardboard in front of you?
No, he's one of the few people who's actually seen me.
No, he
IRL.
comes over to your house and he's like, "Who's this? No, that's not Dale. Get the blue cardboard. I don't want to see you. I don't want to see you."
It was kind of funny. His initial reaction was funny. Yeah.
Do you know what, man?
Anyway.
One day, I don't know. I'm not too sure which AI tools are good for this because I haven't really looked into it. But one day I'm going to use AI to draw who I think you look like, just based upon what I've assessed in my mind from conversations with you. That'd be interesting. That'd be an interesting stream. Here's what I think Dale looks like.
You're not the first person who's done that, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Shit. All right. That's not an original idea.
No, it's a great idea though. There's a video game. I don't remember what it's called, but there's a video game where you can create a character, and you're given all these options about like hair color, hair length, body build type, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And there's this one person on DLive. I'm not going to mention the name. This was 2-3 years ago, and she created this whole character based on me. Now, this person had actually seen me as well, so that was kind of fun.
Wait, they created a character that they live streamed as like a VTuber?
Yeah, it was a character in the game, and it was pretty damn close actually.
Now, in the game, I know you're not really a gamer, but there was that game that Comptech and Hendrik and you were always playing called it's like a ship or something, like a boat or something, sailing or captains or.
Oh yeah, you're thinking of Sea of Thieves.
That's the one, yeah.
MD Witt used to play that all the time.
Right. Was that the game?
And so did Elfstar.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was not that game. It was a different game.
Okay. Is
Different
that
game,
game
different
still
person.
a thing? People still play that one?
It is, but I think people just kind of got, my impression, people got kind of burnt out on it, like a lot of things, and then you move on,
Right. I mean, that was just on the edge of COVID, wasn't it, when that sort of kicked off?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, as far as gaming goes, I've always had the same stance on it. Like, I'm not really into it, but I don't know, like over the years I have caught a few streamers, gaming, and some of the people that a couple of podcasts that I watch, they also game every now and then. And I don't know, like I still find it, I can see playing with your friends as a novelty, but watching a random streamer game to me still seems like really silly. Like,
that is exactly my take on it.
Yeah.
Everybody who knows me knows that. I've told people that for years. It's like, my gaming days are pretty much over. I used to play video games, back in the day, but I just don't really, it doesn't interest me anymore. But it's one thing to play, like you said, play a video game with your friends, especially. I get it. It's fun.
For sure.
But sitting there watching somebody streaming that is boring.
Yeah. And I know the young kids, and old man yelling at cloud again, but the young kids,
Right.
They like watching it because it's their favorite creator. They feel like they're a part of it. But in actual
Well,
fact,
that was the whole PewDiePie thing.
that's what I was going to say. If you're in PewDiePie's stream, you're not a part of anything. That thing's flying along so quick. He doesn't even notice you're there. Like, so if you want to be an ant amongst another trillion ants and go through a chat like this while he plays a computer game and doesn't acknowledge you, that seems like the worst. That seems like the biggest waste of time.
Well, and that kind of gets back to the whole what blows up and goes viral and what doesn't. Who knows? I mean, I never understood the whole PewDiePie thing. I mean, I understand it sort of intellectually. I mean, it's not like I'm stupid. I get why he blew up. I just can't relate to that at all.
Refresh me. Why did he blow up again?
It was a combination of several things, and I'm probably the wrong person to ask because I was never a fanboy of PewDiePie. But he became like super fucking popular on YouTube. I mean, he was a young, good-looking guy, sort of like every woman's, Prince Charming looks, right?
Mm-hmm.
He had a personality, a quick wit, and it just was sort of the right place, right time kind of thing. He popularized certain things like the put a 1 in chat if this, put a 2 in chat if that.
Oh, is that him?
Thing?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Let's see what else. I mean, like I said, I'm probably the wrong person to ask, but that was for me when DLive put all their eggs into his basket early on. That was when I was just like, "Oh, you guys, you're fucking kidding me."
Yeah. Okay.
That was a massive mistake, in my opinion. It got a lot of people interested in DLive who'd never heard of it.
Me included.
He never interacted with anybody on DLive.
That's how I came in on. That's what I came in on. That's the only reason I heard about DLive is because of his video, his pitch.
Yeah. So it was a good promo thing, but fuck, $1 million?
I mean, just saying, Kick give Aiden Ross $3 million for a single stream. But that's gambling money. But $1 million in the long term doesn't seem like that much.
I'll take it, but my limits are a little different from yours, man. I've heard you say, "Hey, for 10 grand, I'll do blah 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 blah." And
Oh
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Not me.
let me say this: there's a price for everything.
Well,
Yeah.
okay.
Dreamwalking Angel says that's masochistic. That's how it's spelled. But that's about PewDiePie being good looking. I mean, yeah, I thought what's interesting about that gentleman is that as he got older, he got more and more popular. So, and it's because of the young kids finding him, but there's a huge age gap between his fans and his age, right?
Right.
Which when I was in school, like primary school and high school, those two different ages, they were wildly far apart. Like if you were in year 6, you didn't talk to anyone in year 8. Hell no. They were older, like they were the tough kids. Yet on online gaming, as he got older, he managed to grab even a younger audience and a bigger and bigger and bigger and younger, which made no sense. Yo, Sugar Dale gifting out subs to the channel. Thank you, man. Thanks, Dale. I got to do this. Sugar Dale Bold. What does that make me? Are you my Sugar Dale daddy?
No, no.
How many handles have you had on DLive, dude? You must have changed.
Fucking cringe! I can't believe you just said that.
How many handles have you had on DLive?
A few.
Yes.
So, something will happen, like Pablo Escanaba. Okay, I didn't create that.
Pablo Escanaba, that's right. Yeah.
That was Suki and Hendrik, actually.
Was it?
Yeah. And I just went with it. I mean, it's just the way my mind works. So yeah, Sugar Dale Bold. I'm not gonna tell you where that came from.
Sugar Dale.
But yeah.
I mean, my mind goes to Sugar Daddy, but it also, what's that rap? What's the rap group from the 70s? Sugar.
Oh, the Sugar Hill Gang. Yeah.
That's what I'm
Rapper's
calling it.
Delight.
Yeah.
I said a hip hop.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's my mind went straight there when I saw that.
That's the first rap song I ever heard.
Yeah. It became quite famous for being one of the earlier, I guess, rap hip hop, sort of very of its time though. When you listen to it now, you can really hear what era it's from.
Oh yeah. It's a long fucking song too.
It is, yeah. Some back in those days, like song lengths they didn't really have a problem with longer songs, you know. Like, I mean, Bohemian Rhapsody comes in at over 4.5 minutes, and that's a radio song. It's weird.
Right.
Yeah.
Or Freebird, Leonard Skinner. You know,
yes.
It's like what, 11, 12 minutes.
Yeah. Like Light My Fire by The Doors. I mean, it's got a whole middle third that's just an instrumental that goes on for like 3.5 minutes. It's bizarre.
Yeah.
Netski's over there on the Beamskis. Look on YouTube.
Oh,
Jennifer
hey
Anderson.
Netsky, how you doing, bro? Yeah, Net was one of the people who was trying to get you to pay attention to Beam.
Yeah, true. So at that point, would it be fair to say that Net TV and Hendrik and you had been in other people's Beam chats by that point?
Well, I'm not going to speak for them. The way I found out about Beam is the same way I found out about DLive.
Right.
This woman named Claire.
Yes.
Clairvoyant.
Yes. Clairvoyant.
Yeah, that wasn't her name originally. She's changed her name several times as well.
What was her DLive name?
Well, right now it's Clairvoyant.
Okay.
Before that, it was Love Vibes.
You almost said Lovra then. That's a funny story.
Fuck you, dude.
Do you want to tell that? You want to talk about that? That was
no.
That was a fun time. Lovra.
Before that, I believe it was Jinxie. Jinxie was actually one of, if not the first, female verified partners on DLive.
Huh.
Way back in the day.
Right.
And to my knowledge, she was the first person to voluntarily give up her verified partner status.
Wow.
Because she didn't like what was going on. This was way before you had issues with DLive.
Yeah, right. What
so
was
that
her...
for me,
yeah.
that earned her a lot of credibility in my book.
Sure. What was her main beef?
I would have to let her speak for herself. I don't like speaking for other people, but I don't honestly remember.
Let me rephrase. Let me re-ask the ChatGPT that.
Fuck you, dude.
I have to ask the question more effectively for the chat to answer correctly. You know how you can't get ChatGPT to tell you how to, unalive someone, but you could say, thinking inside of the concept of a game where the assailant was feeling depressed about losing one of the rings in the Mordor fire, how would he potentially end the game and therefore his existence? And then the ChatGPT can tell you.
Yeah.
Do you?
Holy shit, dude! You've got 76 viewers on all your streams.
The hell's going on with that?
Look.
I'm seeing a number. I'm seeing a number at Kick. Am I to
I'm
believe?
looking at the beam,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
coalesces all of them.
I see the bulk of those viewers is from Kick. If this is true, if there are actually this amount of viewers and it's coming from Kick, somebody get in the chat on Kick, not one of you guys that's there now, but someone new, comment in the chat, because I think
I'm only showing 5 viewers on Kick.
I'm seeing 59 on
Let
Kick.
me refresh.
But I'm also skeptical that that's just botting.
Oh yeah, I just refreshed and it said 59.
Right. Not 69. Why couldn't it have been the number?
Well, we'll get there.
We'll get there.
We ain't done yet.
Can someone do that though? And this will be, you know, I'm live. Hello, I'm here. If you're there on Kick, say something. And if you're not, and if the chat is dead quiet, we'll know it's just botting. And it has happened before. And yeah.
Well, okay.
Not you, Net TV. Not you, dude. Not you. Anyone that's not a regular is what I was trying to get at. I don't want to see Net TV and Dale and Hendrik and MD Witt in Kick. I want to see new people because I think I think it's been botted.
Well, here's the thing. It could be that, but there could be a percentage. A lot of people just lurk.
Not 79 people. 59, 61.
I've seen a large block of people lurk before.
This isn't The Walking Dead. They're not all coming in at the same time, just stumbling in and going, here we are, we're not going to talk.
Well, what usually happens is one person who has a following says, hey, let's go check this out, guys, and brings everybody over.
Oh, and by the way, when we get there, don't say anything. Just be really quiet. Shh. That's not how they do it.
Yeah.
I think it's botting. But, it's still it's still fun to see a big number. But, back in the DLive days, Davo, that's going to be weird. That is going to be weird. Back in those DLive days, when we saw numbers like this, with all respect, they were real numbers. We had people, mostly trolls. They came in and they would flood the chat. Mostly, good publications and Merhaba, but it was actual people.
Right.
Their motives might not have been true, but they were actual real people, whereas this is just an inflated number.
Well, and even before the Turk thing, there was a whole different group of people that would do that too. I think this is probably back before you joined DLive. This was before there were mods or guardians or any of that on DLive.
Are there still guardians at DLive?
Just in the Discord.
Okay. Yeah, right.
Yeah, but too many guardians abuse their power.
Yeah, for sure. Dreamwalking. I remember good publications and Merhaba. Yeah. Funny. Casa? CASA? That was a big one too. Open chest. Yeah, people would just come in and say, it's kind of funny when you think back to it. Someone would just come into a chat and go, give me money. They'd just walk in and say, give me money. It's like, if you think about it logically, or like if you think about the equivalent of real life, it's like walking into a building and opening up a door to a room and there's about, 10 people in there chatting, and all you do is walk in, open up and go, hey, give me money. And they all look at you and they go, what? Get out of here. We're not just giving you money. Go and do that. And then the next person comes in. Casa. Thank you, Sugardale. I got to make that a lot bigger.
I heard give me money, so fuck it.
Thank you, man. It was funny though, right? Like when that era of DLive was like, and there was money to be made, that's the testnet era of Lino, and there was a dollar amount associated with it. And there was bonuses for staking, and there was bonuses for locking up, and there was bonuses for verified and affiliates. There was incentive to do two things. There was incentive to create, and there was incentive to consume. And those two equations, they go hand in hand so perfectly on a live platform. Incentivize the creator and incentivize the viewer. You've got a never-ending repeated circle that'll just keep, like a snowball, getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And
Oh,
man,
you're breaking my heart again.
dude, that's why I was so pumped when I saw that PewDiePie video. He explained it, not quite as clear as that, but he explained it enough clarity for me to want to learn more and immediately start streaming over there. And we haven't seen anything like that anywhere since then. So as much as, I've got my issues with DLive, they got the historical aspect of it and how unique that was. That's unmatched.
I will forever. Oh, look at this. You're at 69. Oh, now it jumped. It went from 69 to 83. I was going to take a fucking screenshot and it bumped up to 83.
Damn it.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch the replay and
screenshot it at the particular spot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? It was, yeah.
Those were good days. Yeah, it's too bad it didn't last.
Yeah, I mean, it lasted long enough to be. It lasted long enough to inspire a lot of people.
It's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, to pick up a camera and start a stream. I mean, we saw a lot of creators come and go on DLive. Some of them good, some of them bad, some of them just testing the waters, some of them not sure what they were doing, but it was enough. And again, I say this, man, and I'll say it. I've said it before, and you've heard it, Dale. But the best thing about that was, if you did climb the ranks and become affiliated and partnered, you then earned when other streamers streamed, well, donated to. So
right.
The more the snowball grew, even if you were sleeping or if you were taking a week off streaming, you were still earning from the other streamers. It was so good. Like, imagine that.
And that was when the cut was less than 10%.
Yeah. It was 9.9 or something, 9.95 or something. Imagine that on YouTube. Imagine YouTube said, from now on, if you're in the AdSense, the Google AdSense program, from now on, if you take your AdSense earnings and you invest them back into the company via a token on a blockchain, whatever that looks like, I've always said that could be the Y2 token, the YTT. If you invest that back in, whenever someone streams or whenever someone earns a super chat or whenever someone's merch sells or whenever someone earns AdSense revenue on the platform, you get a cut off it. Could you imagine, dude? Like, oh my, that would totally change. There'd be no such thing as a small creator. We'd all be earning off everybody. It'd be phenomenal.
I am convinced that basic concept, that business model, is gonna happen at some point. Because if you can get a group of people to pull it off and not be amateur hour, that, like you said, imagine, the potential.
Yeah. We're talking about DLive small scale becomes big scale because they commissioned PewDiePie for a year. So they contracted him. A little nugget gets bigger all of a sudden and it goes off and everybody's enjoying it. And then the contract's over and then it shrivels up and shrinks and dies. But imagine it wasn't just one person. Imagine it was a platform with 100 versions of PewDiePie. Yo, Sugardale. Thank you, man. Netsky says now they take 35%. Is that how much DLive take? I didn't know.
Yeah.
Well, that's YouTube takes 30%. But what you just said there, Dale, you think it's going to happen again? That will happen. Do you think that that'll happen on a blockchain? Like it's got to be some kind of crypto token, or could it be?
I think it'll have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the only way the business model makes sense, because okay, Kick is like different because they've got millions of gambling dollars to back their platform.
Sure. Yep.
Right. But long term, you have to have what's called sustainability. You've got bills to pay. You've got to pay staff. You got to pay for servers. You got to pay for all these things. And if you're not making a profit, your business is not going to last.
Yeah.
It's just fundamental.
Yep. I mean, stake doesn't have. There's no blockchain. There's no stake token that I'm aware of.
Refresh my memory. What is stake?
Stake is where the money comes from for Kick. That is that's the gambling platform.
Oh, right. See,
Kick.
I was thinking DLive staking your Lino thing.
Right. No, yeah, easy to confuse, but no, stake.com, I guess, is the company that finances the Kick machine. But
I know, man. I know. I feel you.
It's hard. It's hard to. On the one hand, there's so much money flinging around at Kick, but they're just not. They're not giving it to. It's not like a fair distribution, like on the DLive, when you could earn it. You could earn the token by streaming, and then you could stake the token to prove that you're into the ecosystem and you're a solid member of the team. There's nothing like that at Kick. It's like you've just got to grind until you survive and, do something outlandish. And yeah, I don't know, man. Like it doesn't seem like, it seems like such a huge road to go down on the Kick side of it. Whereas, and yeah, Netskis, I want to see Beam nail it. You got a platform like Beam that I've asked the question, will there ever be any kind of crypto blockchain and any integrations at all? And they've said no. So that, from what I understand, there's no possibility of any kind of crypto. However, that doesn't mean that there's no possibility for an in-app token of sorts.
True. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know, because like Lino was always, yeah, we've got this thing, it's in-app, but it's also a crypto on a test net, and we're working towards deploying that on the main net. That's where we're going. Whereas, could you do an in-app token that has no plans to ever be mainnet, and it's just going to be used inside this ecosystem? Yeah, I think that would be the wrong move, because as hard as this might be to hear, you do want the outside whales to come in and have an influence and put the price of the token to rise. You do want that. And if it was just internal with no outside, no trading and no outside influence, then you would never really see price go up.
Your number is now 115, dude.
Again, I'll say this: it's nice to see that number, but it's phony, right? Like there's been no one coming in off the Kick. I'm just saying. So it's nice to see It's nice to see 3 digits on my givers watching, but we know it's fake. And I'm not.
You got 16 watching on DLive.
Yeah. By the way, I'm not doing this. If anyone thinks I'm view-botting myself, it wasn't me. I'm sitting here with my hands.
Name the platforms you're streaming to.
I'll tell you. So I'm streaming to Beam with 2 viewers, YouTube with no viewers. I can tell you that from the YouTube side. Sorry, 2 viewers on YouTube, 77 viewers on Kick, 1 viewer on Twitch, 16 on DLive. None on Trovo, and none on party.com. I'm on Party, PARTI.com. I'm seeing you on DLive exclusively. Thank you, Dreamwalking Angel. Dreamwalking Angel. That is a nice. That's got a nice ring to it. Dreamwalking, walking in dreams.
She's a real sweetheart. Many ways, I'll just say that.
Ooh.
Shut the fuck up, girl.
Next question. Do you know each other IRL?
I'm not going to answer that question.
So back to the way Hoktui answered questions. There's a way. What did you say? A live omission. The cookie has crumbled. The platform needs to realize it's not all about them. If they look after the streamers, then everyone wins. Yeah. I'm a Southern Belle. Southern Belle. And that's Hoktui is a Southern girl too, right?
Yeah.
there's no way to influence the direction of Beam. And by the way, just as I say that, I'm thinking that's what I've always said you shouldn't try to do to a platform. You should just remember your role. You're the streamer.
I don't totally agree with that.
No?
Well, you used a phrase. You said there's no way to influence the direction. I disagree.
Well, I was asking, is there a way? But I don't think there is.
Well, all right. Let's not talk about Beam for a minute. Let me just make a general point.
Okay.
Any business has to cater to their customers. You give your customers what they want, right? So you get feedback, and people will mention things that they like and things they don't like. So any good business person incorporates all that into how they run their business, right? So you do have some influence. It might not be huge, but yeah, I'll just
is that
say that.
Is that in the sense that if you don't stream, like if more people stop using the service, their influence is then that no one's using it, and so then the thing will fall over itself? Is that what you mean?
Well, there's strength in numbers. So if the majority of your customers are telling you the same thing, then that has influence, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see your point.
Just a random thought. We're just all over the place tonight.
Yeah, no. I'm just thinking like because on Kick, they've been talking about kicks for a long while. And we haven't seen how that's going to look, you know?
I was really into Kick at first, and I just, after a while, I was like, nah. What really fucked me was, oh, sorry, I'm not sure.
You can
the
swear.
whole, I was your first subscriber on Kick. And after the 3-month mark, I was still paying monthly subscription.
That's right. There was a weird glitch where it didn't remember your longevity.
Right. And after about 7 months, I was like, well, forget this.
Yeah. 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 You want to build up your status, if you like, and be recognized for sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm not trying to defend Kick, but every platform has its hiccups and has its issues. But I think the difference with that and with DLive was there's no way to make your point known on Kick. You're just a number in a massive pond. Like back in the DLive days, you could go into the Wednesday community stream with Tidy and say, oh, hey, this isn't working. Can you look? And then they'd look into it and they'd get back to you. And that's what we're seeing on Beam right now. Like when there's an issue, you can log it with the Discord and they'll go, oh, yeah. And either Theodore or Angle will come in and they'll be like, yeah, we'll look into that. But then,
good job.
But then you get to that point where you're like, well, are you arguing for or against a platform growing? Because on the one hand, you love having direct access to the CEO and to the team, but then on the other hand, you want someone like PewDiePie and then 10 more of PewDiePie's to come in and give the site this big boost. But then by virtue of that, there'll be hundreds and thousands of more streamers, and therefore you won't be able to stand out. So it's kind of like this weird juggle that no one really knows how to juggle those balls correctly.
Okay, but here's the thing. All right, so what you just presented seemed like a contradictory thing, where it's like got to be one or the other.
Yeah.
Right. I tend to disagree with that.
Okay.
Humans tend to think in terms of either or. It's got to either be this or that.
Right.
That's two choices. I don't buy that.
Okay.
There's a lot of choices. Maybe I choose door number D or J.
Okay.
And that has served me well. Follow your own path. Don't necessarily fall into that trap of either or. And I know that annoys the crap out of people, but yeah,
I mean,
I am what I am. So.
It's a good mantra. Yeah. In terms of a platform, though, like what's the real world? How can
Well,
you?
what it does is it opens your mind to possibilities that you hadn't considered before, right?
Okay.
And then it's like, ooh, this could go a lot of ways.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm open to that. Yeah. I think I need to back up just a little because I'm just sort of trying to think about it like logically in the example that we're pitching here about a platform.
Give me a specific example.
Okay, so like right now, if something's wrong with let's say like today, like the uni chat's not pulling in from the YouTube. Everywhere else, it's coming up in the uni chat. It's great, except YouTube doesn't work. So if I went into the Discord for Beam and said, hey, just a heads up, the uni chat wasn't pulling in my YouTube chat today, I know that straight away someone would look at it, probably Theodore, and then he'd come back and say, oh, there's something wrong with the API. I have to reset it, blah, 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 and it gets fixed. The alternative to that is you're on Kick and something's not working on Kick. First of all, who do you go to help? You can't go to the Discord. It's just too busy. Too many people. You're nobody unless you're somebody, and at that point you have your direct contact anyway, so you don't need to go into the Discord, so you just call
I see what you're saying.
So there's that.
Okay, I was going a completely different place.
Yeah, but no, but I think both of like your comment and my comment can sort of they can live together, but I just couldn't quite see how it would, like you said, instead of opening up door A, B, or C, I'm going to open up door D, and I was thinking, I'm going to punch a hole in the wall where there was no door. That was my response, right? Yeah.
That's the Benin I know and love.
I'm going to make the door. You want to go through that door? Oh, hold on a second. Let's just cut that wall into a door. But you know what happens then?
That takes me back to some of those conversations in the DLive Discord. Oh my God.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That's the Discord where you punch the hole in the wall and then you get through that hole and they go, no. There's no more doorways. It's all closed now. It's all over. And you're like, I was just getting started here.
Yeah. Well, I always appreciated that about you. That's actually one of the reasons why I started hanging out in your streams a lot early on. Because I saw that in you, and I was like, this guy's intriguing.
I tell you what's very interesting there, and this is just now specifically about that DLive or that Discord situation. It was me, for those that don't know, and I won't go too deep into it because it's a long story, but for the 55 viewers that we have here, by the way, do you notice how nobody's followed or subscribed from Kick from 100 or 98, whatever? Nothing. Not one. Mm-hmm. So it's just bots. Mm-hmm. But anyway, it's funny to have that number. But for those that don't know, DLive essentially stole from streamers. Oh boy. They stole in terms of cryptocurrency, BTT. So anyway, there was this contract, and you would agree to lock up your tokens, and you'd receive a reward, an API in terms of reward at the end of the staking process. Blah 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 blah. And for a period of about 13 weeks, the contract was frozen, and you couldn't interact with it, and you couldn't take your coins, you couldn't close the stake, you couldn't do anything. You were just locked out. And there was always the conversation that yes, and it was at the time that Justin Sun was reallocating BTT into a new token called BTT Old, and creating a new BTT with a different valuation. And so your token that was BTT is now going to be called BTT Old, and therefore to have that running across the board, they needed to update the smart contract, which was the staking contract. So that's why it was locked. And so we all, and I'm not just talking about me, I'm talking about multiple, many whales, not that I was a whale, but many whales and many streamers had locked their BTT into this system. And we sat there patiently waiting for these 13 weeks or whatever it was. And at the end of it, they didn't give compensation. They just went, oh, we've written the new contract. Here's the new staking process. You can withdraw your old coins. And I'm like, okay, but what about the rewards from those 13 weeks and the compensation, which they said we will compensate you? They didn't give it. They just flat out refused.
Okay. Can I make a point?
Go ahead.
Okay. This is why I have never, and probably will never, and I'm not just referring to DLive, Hex, stake an investment, because that means that you don't control it anymore. If you pull out early, you get screwed. Fuck that. Sorry.
Okay.
You might want to M-tag on DLive.
I'm always M-tagged on DLive. They made that permanent for me. I'll hit you with two interesting points right there. First of all, when you're staking on Hex, you're not giving your coins to anyone. You're running the contract. When you were staking on DLive, you were locking your tokens on their platform. So you were giving control of you were basically providing your crypto for someone else to deal with it and hold the tokens. So there's that's the first difference. The second difference is you said when you pull out you get fucked. Well, the staking concept, which exists right now and it has existed forever in like modern banking, is that you lock up your money, and when you reach the end of the maturity, you get a reward in the terms of whatever the interest rate
Yeah, but
was.
that's only true of a certain type of investment.
Yeah, a term deposit or a certificate of deposit. Yeah,
certificate of deposit.
And so that's what staking is, a certificate of deposit on the blockchain.
Yeah, I understand
but
that.
In specific to Hex, you said when you end your stake early, you get fucked. Yeah, it's the same as if you ended your stake early or your investment early at a bank. You don't get the reward. But
I've never bought a certificate of deposit.
Well, that's how they operate. But the beautiful thing about Hex is, if you do that, the reward goes to those that did complete their stake. So you're saying, I'm going to do something, and then you're not doing it. And so everybody around you earns the reward off you not doing it.
Okay, Benin, but you're operating on an assumption that that bank or that cryptocurrency or that whatever will still exist when your deposit reaches maturity. And there's a countless number of examples where they did not. Just go poof, and then your money's gone.
The contract is on-chain, immutable, running irregardless of anyone's interaction with it. It's just code. It exists. It can't stop. It's there. It's running.
Okay, well, I could be incorrect about crypto, but when we're talking about banks, if you've invested in a bank, if you own stock in a bank or a certificate of deposit, you're only guaranteed a certain amount. Like in the United States, I think it's $100,000. Anything more than that, and so if you invest $1 million, you're out $900,000.
Pretty good.
So yeah, that's my definition of getting screwed.
Well, yeah, I mean, if the bank disappears, sure.
Right, and it happens. There's been bank failures all throughout history.
Doesn't crypto?
And there will be again.
But doesn't crypto in its very concept negate that? Because there is no.
I don't know for sure. I don't know. That would have been a good question for Captain RG3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really wanted to be there for that stream, and I missed it, unfortunately. But
that was an interesting stream, actually. He
yeah, it was. Well, I saw the replay.
Yeah. He answered a whole bunch of questions quite openly and quite calmly, but there was maybe two or three times that I felt like he was. I don't want to use the word talking over me, but talking down to me might be the better way to describe it.
Yeah, I caught that.
Yeah, a couple of times I felt like he was like, and my main line of questioning was, you made a shit ton of money in Hex, but Hex is a certificate of deposit with the catchphrase of longer pays better, bigger pays better. So how can you have already become a millionaire in the first year of it?
You already know the answer to that.
You bought in low and sold on our heads. That's
damn straight.
Exactly. And he never quite acknowledged it. That's not quite right. He did say that.
Actually, he did.
He did say he sold Hex. Yeah, he did.
But you had to kind of hold his feet to the fire.
Yeah. But that's what I was trying to get him. That's why I was saying, like, of all of the concepts behind this crypto, the one thing that sets it apart from any other crypto is the staking period, the 5555. That's the big difference. You can buy and trade crypto. It doesn't have to be Hex. You can buy anything. I'm going to buy Tuah and trade that shit, right? You can buy and sell, and you can make money off of it. But Hex, 5555, do it, stake longer, pays better. But he didn't. They didn't. The OGs didn't. And they all made money off of it. And that's why I said this film comes out, and not once does it mention 5555. Did you dudes intentionally take that out? Did you was that written out of the movie, or did you just happen to not mention the biggest thing with this crypto? I thought that was
dodged on that.
Yeah. I was like, okay, it seems. Yeah, what are we doing here? Are we staking or are we trading? Like, how does, like, what's the advice to someone that comes into Hex? Should you stake?
And what did I say to you? You can do both.
Well, yeah, and I think RG said the same. You can do both. Right. And I actually, since then, I've actually bought a little, and I've held it liquid to dump on their heads when it goes up again. Yeah, I want to pull an RG. I want to pull an RG3. That didn't sound.
Hey, can we shift gears into a different topic? Because I got a lot of stuff I want to. How much time do you have?
Well, I'm going to go and get a home brew. Should we take pause for 5 minutes? I'll go and get a beer. We'll run the surfing clip, and I'll come back fresh.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Sounds great. Why don't you do that? I'll keep chat interchained, which means everybody's going to leave, and then I'm going to join you in a beer.
Okay.
And we'll maybe cover a few other things.
Yeah. Did you want me to leave you on screen, or did you want to just?
Oh, you can. Yeah, you can leave it up.
Okay. Well, I'll just eject my camera out of here. How do we do this? I haven't done this for a while, and I'll be back. You'll just have Dale in the house. All right. Let's see this. There you go. Oh, you'll still be able to hear me though. Hang on. I'll mute my mic.
Hello, children. How are we today? All right. Well, now that the cat's gone, the mice get to play. Oh, yo, Skipper. How you doing, man? MD and Hendrik, maybe just make a comment in DLive chat if you don't mind. Por favor, which is España for please and thank you. Yeah, so interesting conversation. This is not at all where I expected this conversation to go, but you know, you just gotta go with it. Oh. Okay, never mind. I already took care of you. Never mind, Melody. Thank you, though. Yeah. Well, that's weird. Your giver banner disappeared and now it's back again. What the hell? That's strange.
That's going to be weird.
To answer, I'm not sure how you pronounce that name. Why is everyone ignoring the fact that XRP 4x in just 4 weeks? I don't know that everybody's ignoring that. It's just we were talking about other things. By the way, I am echoing myself.
You're echoing now?
Yeah, I have been for about 20 minutes.
Oh, shit. I didn't make any changes to that at all. Why would that be?
I hear myself echoing when I talk.
Okay.
It's not bad, but...
Fucking love you, bitch!
Fucking love you, bitch. Did you hear that, by the way?
Yes.
You do.
I heard the alert.
You heard the alert. I don't know why you'd be hearing an echo there. Yeah,
Oh, you put our names up.
I did that just now, but Yeah, I'm sorry, Dale. I don't know what I could do about that. How bad is
Don't worry
it?
about it.
Yeah.
It's slight.
Is it possible that you've just turned them up at your end and it sounds like it's echoing, or is it actually an echo?
I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't change anything, so it's not a big deal. I just wanted to bring it to your attention.
Yeah, okay.
Don't get too distracted.
Yeah, let's not go into it.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Bruce, can you comment on the current XRP situation? I can't comment. I heard Dale sort of saying the same thing. Yeah. But
It's just not something we're knowledgeable on, and frankly, I would kind of like to not keep. This is not an entire crypto stream.
Yeah. I think what he's talking about though is that there has been talk about XRP being used in the Federal Reserve or something, but we can leave it for another time. How you doing, Hendrik? That was Hendrik that came in with the exclamation, bitch, fucking love you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to crack a homebrew, Dale. It's good to have you. It's good to see you again, man. Good to hear you. It's good to chat with you.
Oh, nice. Cheers,
Yeah.
cheers, man.
Let's change gears.
Okay, well, first I got to take care of something else. I'm trying to multitask here.
Grab that beer. What are you drinking, by the way?
I haven't gotten it yet.
Okay. By the way, it's rad that thank you, exclamation drink. It's rad that Botrix, because Botrix, I'm not paying for Botrix anymore, but all of the commands still work. So if you remember them, they all still work.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Hello there!
Hello there!
You do have some really good alerts.
I don't want them to ever disappear either. I love those alerts. Hello, look at that tooth boy. What a lovely man.
I want to know the morning go fishing.
What are the alerts we got? I love this one. I spelled it wrong.
I just farted.
Bots got bored. Yeah, the bots got bored.
Wow. So that's actually funny as fuck. So let me get this straight. AI can get bored with us humans and be like, "Oh, fuck it, I'm out."
You know you're really boring when the bots bail on you.
Right?
Classic.
That is funny.
How old is that home brew, MD? This brew was already finished and good about a month before I went on the Uluru trip. So this brew is probably the premium age. It's about 7 months brew.
Yeah, so that's
bottle.
no big deal.
Perfect.
Anything less than a year is fine.
Perfect age, I reckon. Yeah, it's really good.
So yeah, you mentioned Uluru. Why don't we discuss that a little bit? This is what I wanted to talk about.
Sure. Let's do it.
All right, before we get into all that, I'm gonna join you in a beer.
Yeah, man.
So
Crack it.
give me a minute, and I'll be right back.
Yeah, no worries. Gives it a minute. So we're going to talk about. I know. Okay. So this might get deep, folks. This conversation. This might get deep. I found you over here, Nalisha 1. You're over here on Kick 2. Thank you, Nalisha. Yeah, this might get deep, I guess. There'll be conversations here about the good, the bad, and the ugly of the Uluru trip. And I'm down for it. I'm always down for the discussion. I wonder what that. Oh no, I was going to say. I wonder what that duplicating was. I guess while Dale's away, I could just wangle it and have a look. He's coming back. I guess I could just wangle it and see for myself if that changes things. Got OBS open there. OBS. I'll turn that off. I don't know if that might have fixed it for me. No. Oh, that might have fixed it. Oh, no, that's not going to fix it. That might have fixed it for me. No, that won't fix it for Dale, though. Where is... Oh, no. Hang on. I know how to do that. We're coming in with Chrome skis. Select application. Virtual devices. Chrome ski. No, Chrome was already there, you idiot. What are you doing? Chrome skis. It's sounding good now. Yeah. I haven't actually done any changes. I just thought while Dale's away, I could maybe twinkle with a little sninkle here. When he gets back, I could just... I just turned off my mic. That was bad. I was just saying I'm twinkling with some changes, and maybe it might be better for me, and it might not be better for Dale, but it might have worked.
You know what might be cool?
But yeah, oh, by the way, I thought a little underground, a little background music. Does that help? A little background tunes?
Keep the volume low.
Monitoring and outputting more than one source at the same content makes echoes. Yes, yeah, Netskis. And I guess I'm just kind of trying to wangle with my pull-in setup here for a loop back. It's kind of weird. I'm using an audio source. So it's kind of weird. My microphone, just technically speaking, my microphone goes into the Chrome browser where Restream uses my microphone so Dale can hear me. And then that browser feeds back into OBS so the stream can hear it. So that's where the loop is happening here. Normally, when I'd be not on a panel, my microphone would just go directly into OBS and then out through the stream. But it's going into a browser so I can use it and Dale can hear it. And then that browser is getting pumped back into the stream. Who did that? Poker Time. Poker Time hosted. Poker Time. There's a name we haven't heard. Dale, actually, I've done some changes here. He might be talking and I can't hear him.
Yeah, I'm talking. Can you not hear me?
If you are talking, Dale, let me know. How can you let me know if I can't hear you? I am talking now. Okay, cool. Let me okay, just 1 second. So the stream should have been able to hear you, but I can't. So that means I'll just send in. So yeah, MD Wit could hear you, but I couldn't. So what I'll do is I'll just send it through to an output. I can send it through to here. Interesting.
See, you shouldn't have fucked with it. Oh well.
Sorry, I know what I've done. I'm not fucking around with it any longer. I'll just leave it back to how it was. It's all good now.
All right, you can hear me?
Yeah. I was just, while you were away, I thought I could just do a quick check, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, just leave it. That's fine.
Yeah, cool. Yo, Gibbs, yo, Rob Max in the house. How you doing, man? How you doing, Rob?
Crap, I lost my train of thought. I was going to say something. Well, okay, first of all, I have a beer to open, so you know what? Torpedo away.
Oh, torpedo, rad. Yeah. And I'm going to exclamation drink.
There you
go. Poker is not streaming you, just hosting, so that's good. No need to comment on this. Whoops. Rewind. I'm not commenting on that. I know we were.
It was funny. I remember when I first mentioned during the Uluru expedition, and Marty mentioned being in the United States and having a torpedo, and I was like, "Oh, that's my go-to beer." And I don't think he believed me at first. And I was like, "Dude, I got like a case and a half sitting right here."
It's am I mixing that up? Is that a Sierra Nevada beer?
It is indeed.
Yeah. No, I know the one. It's been a long time since I had it, but I do know it.
It's an IPA, 7.2% ABV.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I like my IPAs.
That's a heavy beer too.
Well, and they make a stronger one. They make one that's like 9 point something.
Wow. Yeah. Heavens above.
I just like that hoppy citrusy, piney taste. Yeah.
Yeah. The citrusy, piney taste. It's like a summery, like zesty. Yeah, I know where you're going.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I remember what I was going to say real quick before we
ahead.
get into the Uluru thing.
Go ahead.
So I was in a couple of panels earlier today, and I really enjoy panels, as you know, hence the panel ho thing, right? I've been doing panels on DLive for 7 years. But one of the things that is sort of a pet peeve of mine is once you get above about, say, 4 people in a panel, it just becomes noise because people are talking over each other, and I just can't even. I can only deal with that for a few minutes, and I'm like, okay, I'm out.
Yes.
Smaller groups is better. Maybe do just a small group, and then another time do a different group. But
I'd agree.
Try to have when you got all these, you're trying to bring all these people in, and I get it. You're trying to welcome everybody in and everybody hang out and have a good time, but it's unwatchable.
Yeah. My take on that is more than 3 is too much. 3, I think 3 is max. Certainly for a streamer, 3 is max because you're the one that's having to coordinate everybody and like keep an eye on volumes and all this kind of stuff. Any more than that, and you're like, dude, I can't think straight here. Me one-on-one with you like this is great. 1-on-2 is fine, and then 3 is the app. Yeah, I'd say that's the absolute max. And another thing I'll say, and I know a bunch of streamers that do this. When you stream and you're not isolating your microphone from your speakers, so from the monitors, what happens is most of the platforms, I think Streamlabs and StreamYards do this, they have an automatic, it's like a noise gate that cuts in and out. And so when someone talks, that because they're hearing the audio at the same time as they're talking, in terms of someone else talking over the stream, because they're not isolating it with their Kansas, it cuts out the audio, and then all of a sudden one person's talking and their mouth's moving, but no one's hearing anything. The other person talks over them because they think they're not talking. Then you get this weird back and forth of like someone go, oh, you, no, you, no, you, and it's like if you put Kansas in, that you wouldn't have that ever, and you turn off that noise suppression stuff. But yeah.
Well, and there is a way to get around it, just real quick. There is a way to get around it. And what you do is, it's just, and I've seen this happen, I think, once, and it worked really well. There was like 8 or 10 people in this panel. And what it was everybody was asked to mute their mic, okay, except for maybe 1 or 2 people. And then, most people go on cam. I don't, but most people do. And if you really want to chime in, either raise your hand, so people can see you on chat, or just go around robin and allow people that, okay, you got 5 minutes, go.
Yep. That's very cool. Do you know what else would be rad? And this would only work with like super low latency. If the chat could control whose mic was muted.
Oh, that's a great idea. That's a fucking great idea, dude.
Dude, number 1 in the chat opens up the person with the number 1 next to their name, number 2, and someone asks the question, yo, I wanna ask Joey Jojo, did you actually buy that crypto token or did you not? And then the chat lets them talk.
That is a brilliant idea.
It's got to be low latency. Though. But Hendrik, it works well as the guest coming to my house. Yeah, that works as well. That's probably the best latency. That was cool.
That was a lot of fun, guys. I really, really enjoyed that.
It really was, yeah.
That was sort of, for me personally, I have my own selfish personal reasons for that, but the two of you guys hanging together at the end of that long journey and everything that went on, that was sort of the perfect ending for me. I was really happy that night.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun walking in the morning, coming back up to the house because I slept in the van, coming back up and I open the door quietly and Hendrik comes over and he's like, oh, hey man. I'm like,
he was still awake.
Are you? And he's like, oh no, I haven't gone to bed yet. I'm like,
crazy bastard. Jesus. Oh God. Yeah.
Netsky was thinking that same thing. Yeah, I mean, and by the way, having that feature, that ability, it's not far off. You probably could do that with what Beam's talking about with these, multi-pane streaming concept. That's, yeah. Talk about that another time, but I don't know what your take on that is, Dale. We probably should have touched on that earlier, but this multi-pane streaming thing that Beam is rolling out seems kind of interesting.
Yeah, I'm very intrigued. That was actually one of the things that drew me in early.
Right. Yeah.
It's an interesting. I hesitate to say this because I don't want to get my hopes up too much because I had my heart broken before with platforms.
Yes.
But I'm as excited for Beam as I have been with any other platform since the early days of DLive. Yeah.
Okay.
And Beam is a little different. It's not really a typical platform. It's what was the term I used earlier? It's a central hub. It's a connecting point. You can stream on whatever platform works for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Yeah. A lot of potential. All right. So, I don't know we already covered the thing about the 16 and under not being on social media in Australia, and that apparently takes place. The law is going to be instituted, if I understood correctly, 1 year from now, so November of 2025. So until then, technically you can still be under 16 and be in social media. But then real quick, see, I don't know the details of all that, because what does that mean exactly? Does that mean that you can't even log on to a social media platform? What about Facebook? That's a social media platform. How are all these things defined and how is it enforced? You see what I'm saying?
I think it'd be a case of you can't sign up to a platform, but you can still scroll through Facebook. You can still scroll through Twitter, but you can't have a profile until you're 17.
But what if an adult signs up for you?
Bingo.
So there's 1,000 ways to get around it.
There's already rules like this, you can't have a YouTube account until you're 13, but lots of kids, some of the biggest kids channels on YouTube, their parents made them for them. Same.
Right.
So this is already, I think this is a big nonsense burger, personally.
That's kind of what I was thinking too.
Yeah. Everyone's getting their knickers in a knot about it, but I just don't think I think it's a nothing burger. It's nothing to worry about.
I mean, I get the impulse to want to protect, especially children and adolescents, because people are sort of fragile and their brain isn't fully formed at that point. And
sure.
But isn't that the job of the parent to make sure that your children are safe? And
of course. Yeah.
But unfortunately, a lot of parents don't really parent well anymore. So I don't know.
Some parents shouldn't be parents.
I don't hear my echo anymore. It's gone.
See, again, I haven't done anything. That's
it's gone.
very odd
for me, anyway. Cool. All right. Good. Good.
Don't do anything.
Yeah. Don't touch anything. Well, yeah. Don't touch anything on my keyboard. Maybe it was the beer. Yeah. I'll chalk it up to this beer.
I think. I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna even try troubleshooting it, but I could reroute my audio sometime, and I will. But
just don't touch anything.
I'm not doing it now.
Yeah. Yeah, parents go rogue.
So talking about Uluru.
Yeah.
And I guess we're gonna, talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. I said this while you were away before, but what I can see, and I think you said we've already kind of touched on this like when you were in the chat one time, but I don't know if you, and talking to Dale, but also to the chat, I don't know if you guys have been watching my sporadically uploaded daily vlogs from the trip. I'm slowly working my way through editing, because I shot content, not just the live feed, but I shot a vlog every day of that trip. And I think I'm about day 12 or day 11 or something right now. I'm uploading them every now and then to YouTube to sort of stretch it out, I guess, but also I haven't finished editing them all. But what I can see from looking at that, from the raw footage and the final edits of those daily vlogs, it was really apparent to me during the editing which wasn't clear to me on the actual trip, that it looks like Marty is not into it as much as I am. And I noted that from just simple things like asking him how he's doing, good morning, how was your sleep, how about this campsite, or whatever it was. There was a real lacking of any visible excitement. Now, I'm not saying he had to be visibly excited by it, and I'm not saying that he needed to be more enthusiastic. And that, I know his character, he's not always as enthusiastic. He's not always like that. But this is something that we'd been planning and been working up for a long while. And talking about opals, just to see that lack of seemed like enjoyment. And I'm not saying this because I've only edited up to day 12. So there's the argument on my birthday day, and then this kind of lacking of any vibe started from the get-go. And what I could say, and I don't want to speak on his behalf, but he's not speaking to me, so it's not like I can ask him this, but I can say that there is an external pressure that there's an external pressure that he was having to deal with on that trip. And I reckon that externality was affecting him from the beginning, to the point where he made some decisions that might not have been the greatest decision to make, given his position he had to this other externality. Again, this is all I can assess from what I saw. But when we had our big blowout, the second one in Ormiston Gorge, I'm now, after having been back for a while and having messaged him and having had no response, I can almost 100% say that what happened between us was not specifically the problem. There was something else that was giving.
So he still hasn't responded?
No.
Wow.
And I don't know if, look, it takes Marty a long time to do anything. Waking up in the morning, putting a pair of shoes on takes him half an hour. He moves very slowly. He still may come back. He still may respond, but it's been, I don't know, however long I've been. I messaged him the week I got back, and my message is pretty succinct. And I said, look, I know that I might have said, this ends our friendship, and I might have been a bit hasty with that. I certainly don't feel that way now that I'm back. And if at any point you're ready to talk about it, I'd like to talk to you about it. Anytime, we can have that communication. And I accepted in my message, I accepted that I was at fault, and I'm ready to discuss it with him. Yeah, to which he hasn't responded.
It's good to keep the door open.
Sure.
Look, people have disagreements. People have a falling out. People see things in their own unique way, which is fine. I don't want to spend too much time on this because that was the first half of an incredible, probably once in a lifetime trip, right?
Right. And sorry to cut in there, but you just said it. That was the first half of it. And what really shits me about what happened is that Marty missed out on that other part of it. Like, I know he would have loved the Devil's Marbles. He would have been loving that shit. He would have loved these water holes, that Lara Station wetlands. He would have loved the Cloncurry Corella Dam. He would have loved Mary Kathleen. This one thing. Okay, so the way he left, the timing that he left at cut his trip. I think he was only away for just over 2 weeks, and he'd allocated just under 5 weeks for the trip. So when we got to the Red Center, which we had an absolute cranking campsite, that one with the rain came and the rainbow in this perfect red dirt. Oh, damn, I'm looking forward to editing that vlog. Anyway, after that and the first Red Bank Gorge, and then Red Bank, and then the next one, and then Ormiston Gorge, that got us to, basically I said in my mind, I was like, well, Marty we can go past here. Marty doesn't have to fly out from Alice. We could easily get to Mount Isa, Cloncurry, and Marty can fly out from there. That's perfect. But then when we had our big disagreement, Marty said to me in the morning, a little whiles down the road, he said, I'm not having fun and I'm going to leave in Alice. And I was like, wow, that's like two weeks into the trip. You're going to bail because we had a disagreement last night. That's lame. And then he said, I don't want to talk about it. And I was like, okay, well, we've got a 60K drive from here to Alice. So what's your plan? Like, and he's like, I'm not going to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I was like, but logically, what are we doing? Are we dropping you at an airport? What's happening? And he
Yeah,
said,
but the more you kept pushing, the more he was getting pissed off.
But okay. Yeah, okay. And I'll explain that, because what you guys didn't see is that when Marty had announced he's leaving, we still had a fair drive, a 60K drive to Alice. And I said to Marty, just so that you know, I know that we're arguing, but I am going to start a live stream before Alice. I'm going to live stream the drive into Alice, because most of the contents of this stream, of these 2 weeks of streaming, has been building up to this. Alice Springs is so gnarly, you can't go there. There's kids going to throw rocks at your cars. They're going to bomb you on the street. It's such a no-go zone. And I want to stream that so that if anything happens, A, we've got evidence of it. And if nothing happens, B, we can turn around and say, well, look, that was all a big media build-up. There's no dramas. You can drive into Alice. So I said to Marty, so that means we've got about an hour where we can talk about this, and then the stream can start where we won't talk about it, because we'll have already come to the resolution. Like, what are we doing? Where are we taking you? We've got to do that in this time frame. And Marty just flat out refused. He got so angry at me. He talked to me like the way a father would talk to a child. And I was like, well, if you don't want to talk now, and we're still driving towards Alice, I'm just saying, when I see that sign that says 10Ks to Alice, I'm starting the stream, dude. Because he was driving. He was the one in the driver's seat. And I said, I'd rather talk to you now off stream about this. I'd rather clear the air. And he just wouldn't. He would not have it. And he said, I've got to concentrate on driving. I'm driving. And I'm like, dude, we've been driving for 2 weeks together. We've been talking and boozing and driving. And now all of a sudden, when we really need to talk, we can't talk. We need to have this discussion now, or we need to stop the vehicle and wait and discuss it. And he wouldn't do it. He just would not do that. And so what you guys inevitably saw was the stream starts and we're driving into Alice with not really any clue what we're doing, because he hadn't said anything. He just retreated to himself and wouldn't, and he was driving, so I didn't know where we were going. And then he's looking up on the map, and the irony of it, he drives us to the very caravan park that I'd suggested we stayed at. So I was like, what are you doing, man? We're going to this spot where you wouldn't go last night. Now we're going there and it's your choice. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. It just seemed so strange.
Okay,
But-
can I chime in?
Go ahead, yes.
Okay.
Because you know all that, because you saw the stream. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, all right. Ooh, where do I start? Marty is a good friend of yours, so it's important
Yes.
to remember that.
Yes.
And hopefully that hasn't changed. I mean, you guys had a rough go, but it's not the end of the world, right?
That's how I'd say.
I'm going to say the same thing your family has told you, and that is we saw it early on.
Yeah.
It was hard to watch.
Wait.
Maybe
Be clearer about that. You saw what early on?
Marty wasn't interacting with your chat like at all.
Yeah.
Or very briefly. It was obvious he wasn't interested.
Yep.
He wanted to sort of be alone with you on this expedition, is my impression. And it's not really fair to even talk about him because he's not here to defend himself.
True. Yep.
So there's that.
I'd agree with that assessment. And yeah, he gave us the moon for fuck's sake. Yeah, he did. Yeah, I mean, that's all fun and games, but the underlying message is clear.
Maybe. I mean, I think you've kind of learned if, on your next whatever, just make sure you take somebody who's on the same page with you before you leave.
Absolutely. And I made this clear, like, next time, if anybody comes with me, they've got to be from that world. They've got to be in the streaming world beforehand. I'm not
genuinely into it, genuinely wanting that interaction. Right?
Yeah.
Because he was even kind of smart-ass toward the end where he was like, oh, yeah, you and all your fucking followers on, online and whatever. And that was a bit weird.
That was a low blow, but when you're involved in a heated argument, you go for anything. True. Like you'll reach at anything. But I thought that was funny when he was pointing at the keyboard. I mean, it wasn't funny at the time, but looking back at that, him fingering the keyboard, and that was a little bit, it was theatrical. Oddly enough, that was good streaming content. If you're going to look at it from a base level. I really wish we were all. Let me just restate that there's an externality that the stream doesn't know that he needed to deal with and he neglected to, and on the trip he actually made it worse by not dealing with it, and then he added to it. And to be frank, what he did, I'm upset with him for his actions. It's nothing to do with me, but I don't approve of what he's done. But he had to do that, and he had to resonate that, and he didn't. And I believe that that's why he was so withdrawn and not interested in anything but this situation that he had himself in. And
I think you're probably right about that.
Yeah. And
a couple questions.
Go ahead.
No. Well, you're venting, so I don't want to interrupt your vent.
I feel like I was just going to reiterate that, unfortunately, because of all that and because of the way it ended, he really did miss out on a good amount of cool shit.
Okay, but you know what? Your chat didn't.
Yeah, we all did it. Yeah, we all saw it. Yeah.
And to be honest with you, and I'm not sledging Marty at all.
No.
So don't misunderstand me, because people misunderstand things all the fucking time online. So I make this very clear.
Yes.
Right? I'm not criticizing Marty at all.
No.
But for me personally as a viewer, and I'm not going to speak for anybody else, but I have spoken to several other people privately.
Yes.
And the difference between the first half of that trip and the second half was like night and day. I know it was hard for you, that whole fucking thing, but the second half of that trip, once you got over the whole sort of trauma of dealing with this is not what was supposed to happen.
Yes.
That was how the whole fucking trip should have been.
I'm really glad you said that, and I'm going to add that a little embarrassing, I guess, from my behalf, but thankfully you guys didn't see this, but I did have a couple of teary nights. The first night in Alice was me pretty much bawling like a baby.
I'm glad you didn't give up at that point, because you were close.
I did consider just jacking it straight south and going back going down South Australia, go back to Adelaide. My plan was to go and see James Emming and just stay there and then come back. But in what you did see on the streams was me saying, I feel like as soon as I get away from Alice, as soon as I leave, because Alice Springs that's the reason why all this kind of came about, because I got all this stupid idea from the media and from these Facebook groups that Alice is a no-go zone. It's so gnarly, blah, blah. And I don't want to go back into it, but I thought that if I put Alice literally in my rearview mirror, I'd start feeling better. And so the first day when I woke up, and it was Perdsky that said, first thing you need to do is message Marty and say, if you need a ride to the airport, I've got your back. I'm still in Alice. And I did, and he didn't respond. When he did respond, it was the day after, and he said, I'm already home. Or it was 2 days after. But anyway, I sent him a message, and then I didn't go north. I went east. I went to the what's the gorge? I went to the gorge to the east, not Ormiston Gorge. Doesn't matter. I can't remember the name, but I went east to a gorge, stayed out there at a place called Bont, somewhere, some beautiful place, beautiful by the river. Camped overnight, woke up, felt shit again. I was crying about the loss of a friendship. Because that's what it was at that time, right? That's what it was. And then came back to Alice, and I pulled a Marty, and I went back into the caravan park I stayed at the next day illegally and had a shower. I don't think you guys knew that Marty. Did you know that Marty, not insisted, but when we were in Yalara at Uluru at the campground, the second night, we just drove back into that caravan park using the PIN code. No, there wasn't even a bar. There wasn't even a PIN. There wasn't even a... We just drove in and camped. Marty's like, they won't know, dude. We'll just pull up. As long as there's no one around, we'll just pull up. They'll think we paid. So we went in and did a second night for free. And then when I was back in Alice, I was like, I'm going to pull a Marty. And I just went back in. There was a PIN code for this joint. I went back in. PIN code went in. Drove in. Pulled up. Had a shower. Got back in my car, drove off, and then I went north. And as soon as I started on the Stewart Highway going north, I started feeling better. The further I went north, and the further I knew that I'm now not able to turn around and go back if I wanted to. Like I said, I was thinking about fanging it back south to Adelaide. The more I went, the further I crept north, the further away from that I was potential. So I was like, well, I'm not turning around. I'm going north. And I started feeling better for myself. And then it sounds crazy. It sounds stupid. But there was one time when I think it was just coming into Tennant Creek when I got 547 Ks to the tank. I was like, I felt, I don't know, it sounds stupid, but I felt really elated. Because
that was a great stream. I could not believe you got such great mileage.
It was so stupid that something like fuel economy can change your mindset, but it really did help. I felt really good, and I felt like, and then I had a shower. I had 2 showers that day. I went into this shitty little roadhouse BP in Tennant Creek, and I went and paid, and I went for a whiz, and I was like, "There's a shower." I was like, "Hold on a second." I just legged it back to the car, grabbed my bounty, ran back in, got in that shower before anybody could come in and say that's a staff only shower. I was like, fuck, I'm showering. And I was like 2 showers that day.
Yeah.
And my mind was,
well, and yes. And think of the second half of that trip and all the wonderful, that meetup with your buddies, the gin. Fuck, what was the name of that?
Oh, Lemon Tree Passage, Greedy and
Lemon
Susan,
Tree,
yeah.
yes. See, that all those, the meetup with Hendrik.
Yeah.
That might not have happened. So
yeah. I changed my planning or the routing to go more east than southeast. So I went across to Brisbane so I could specifically to see H-Man.
And then you got to meet up with your brother, right?
My brother. Yep.
Yeah.
I caught up with old mate, Andy Tope. That was really, really rad. Like a real, someone I wouldn't say fallen out with, but someone who's just the course of life, it's taken us kind of separate ways or whatever. But he yeah, it was just really cool to see and to hear what he's gone through a few things, and he's really cleaned up. Let's just say it's really rad. Like
For me as a viewer, it was like, whew, you know.
Yeah, like because it could have all been shit, right?
Yeah. MD Wit, reasons for everything. Indeed.
Totally, yeah. Thanks for going for the tree of knowledge.
Sometimes you got to go through some shit to get to the good stuff, you know.
I tell you what, I should have spotted this, and I think so. Just to go back and sort of just hit a few other points about Marty, and I should have spotted it earlier with the mood and whatnot.
Get it out of your system.
It's going to be a case of doing that, I think, here to get past it. But it was pretty clear from pretty early that Marty either didn't bring the PDF, like the itinerary, or he never saw it. So a few times early, he'd say to me, "Where are we? Like, where's our destination tonight? How long are we going?" And I'd say, "Oh, it's page 3 of the document. Just have a quick look." And he'd be like, "Okay, cool." And then he wouldn't say anything. And then later on, he'd ask me again, "Oh, so is this like a free camp or a caravan park? And I'd be like, "Oh no, it's a free camp. It's just in the, like, there's photos of it in the like." I'm not saying that he had to look at that, and I'm not saying that we were going to stick to that as our, like, every day we've got to be here at a certain time. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is the reason that I made that document is because Marty was the only one with a time frame. I could stay out on the road as long as I wanted to. My job's flexible like that, but Marty had a definite end. He had to be out by a certain date. So we knew that we only wanted to do 400 Ks maximum a day, and we wanted to get to Uluru, and we wanted to do this and that. So I put this together, showcasing if we do 400 Ks per day, we'll be here, and here are the campsites around the area, and here are the things we could look at.
Okay, I'm going to interrupt you real quick. I'm going to interrupt you real quick, please.
Go ahead.
You put a tremendous amount of work into planning that trip. I probably know. I think Hendrik and Shiloh know.
Yeah.
Because you showed us the PDF and
some
other things.
Well, thank you for saying that. It doesn't. I'm not trying to smoke myself here. Huck Tuah. But I am going to say, yes, it was a lot of work, but it was fun because it was planning for the trip. But I will say again, the only reason that document was needed is so that we could work out, we could get Marty to an airport, a big enough airport, a regional airport that he could fly back to Sydney before he had to be back at work. That's why that exists. And for him not to even bring it, I don't think he brought it. I never saw him look at it. I don't think he brought it with him. For him not to have...
This is my point. It was like...
Yeah, I noticed that like early up, and I was like, wow. And that's why... This is the exact reason why in the morning of the final day, so the first thing that you guys saw was the drive, the last little leg in, that I've already talked about it, the last drive into Alice. But what you didn't see was all the arguing beforehand. But this is what I said to Marty in the morning. And I still think this is a really rad solution. I said to Marty, man, hey, we don't seem to be able to see eye to eye about Alice. We've tried to, we got close to being able to have the same thoughts about it, but it's obvious that it's a sore spot. So how about this, man? How about you take the keys, you drive us anywhere you want, whether it's in Alice or it's out the east, wherever it is, you make the decisions, and I'll just go along with whatever you choose until we leave Alice, until we start heading north towards Tennant Creek. I'll just let you make all the choices, because we can't seem to get it together here, and it's causing us grief. So you take the keys and you decide. And I'm not being facetious, Marty. I will just agree with you. I'll do whatever you want to do, and then when we get out of Alice, we can come back to how we've been doing it as a joint, which we were doing quite well, by the way.
How did that go over?
That is exactly when Marty said, I'm not having any fun. I'm leaving. I was like, fuck. You're gonna leave on that basis? Shit, man.
After what you just said to him?
I thought that was a really good compromise. Like, yeah, but
wow. I was not aware of that.
No, none of you saw any of that because that was the morning after the argument, and I got to tell you, that was not a very pleasant morning. We did get a swim in the gorge though. That was nice, but yeah, he just...
Okay. Can I make an analogy?
Sure.
All right. We've all been in relationships. Sometimes with a woman, sometimes with a buddy, whatever, right? And it's just, things aren't, you find yourself arguing, disagreeing, not enjoying each other's company anymore, whatever it might be. And it reaches a point where when the other person, and I'm not trying to put all this on Marty, because sometimes it could be you,
Yes.
or in my case, me. But there are times when a relationship is just like, doesn't matter what you do or say, it's done because this person has already made their mind up.
Yeah.
And it's like at that point, okay, well, I guess for now at least it's over.
In that case, I would say that Marty had that decision already made about the trip, and then when we got to Alice, I think that's when he made the decision that not only is this the end of the trip, but invariably, and I agreed with him, well, this is the end of our friendship at this point as well.
That's so fucking horrible, though, man.
Yeah, it's horrible. But at that point, Marty, if you leave me here in this situation, if you bail, what other sign are you sending to me that this is the end, dude? This is lame. This is like...
All right, I'm gonna say this. That was a shit move.
From me?
It was a shit move from him to leave you like that.
I agree. It was an unsafe move. Some of those drives, unfortunately, some of those drives were way longer than they should have been. But again, the planning and the PDF was meant to get us to these places with two people. So yes, there were some long drives up the Stewart Highway. That is the most remote. Fucking hell, dude. That is the most outback remote of Australia you can ever fucking get. And I was picturing two drivers, one to buddy up with the other. But Marty was like, I'm bailing. And I was like, fuck. We've 2 weeks in. You could probably get to Brisbane within your 4.5 to 5 weeks.
Did you feel like he abandoned you at a time when you really
Fucking
needed him?
Oath, I felt that. I went through multiple phases of like extreme anger, like real angry at him, like real angry. Of course, he never saw that because I'm not that kind of confrontational, angry guy. But afterwards, yeah, when he wasn't there, I was cursing and smashing and bashing around. And then I went through real sad phases of like, what the fuck? And then I went through, now what am I going to do? I'm traveling alone in these places. And there was that one night on top of that Devonport lookout thing, whatever that, and there was that car that was parked up with the lights on the Stewart Highway. I was really frightened that night. That's the only night that I went to sleep with my knife in my I've got, where my piss bottle is, I have my knife there. That's the only night I pulled the knife out. I have the knife always hidden in top of the curtain rack, but that night I took it down and put it right in my reach. So yeah, it was unfair of him to do that, for sure. Unsafe, unfair. I will give him credit though. And I felt like, I think this might have even been on stream. It was his turn to fill up. And this is a bit funny actually. This is, so he did. I said, are you going to fill up the vehicle? Because it's your turn. And I thought like he'd say, I'm not going to fill up because I'm not here. But it was his turn and we were on empty. But then the funny thing is, I'm not shitting you. I paid $3 a litre or $2.99 a litre for fuel. And all of the times when the fuel was super expensive, it was my time to fill up. I'm just being silly about that because it was we went 1 for 1 from the beginning, but it just happened to coincidentally be, we're in another shithole town, population 3. How much are you going to charge us for fuel? All right, I might as well bend over, have your way with me and fill it up. That was funny though, because it was just, and yeah, then we'd be like, oh, it's your turn to fill up. How much is it? $2.20? Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, couple questions.
Go ahead.
The soil sample you collected for Flo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you
Flo
dealt with that?
he has them in his possession, but look what I've got here. I'll just cut
Does
you
he
off.
really?
Yeah, he's already got them. I got this bag of red soil from, I could tell you exactly where this was from. This is that little road off the Stuart Highway the day after the Devil's Marbles. This is perfect red soil. And then when I got home, I was like, dude, that is so sick. What am I going to do with it? I don't know. But I got a whole bag of it. So then I thought, I'm going to go down to Hyams Beach and grab the whitest sand on the planet. Google this up. The whitest sand on the planet comes from Hyams Beach. And there it is right there. Hyams Beach white sand. I don't know why I went and got a bag of that, because I can get that anytime. And then I thought, well, hold on a second. My local beach, Culburra Beach, right here is yellow sand, kind of standard on Australian East Coast. So I went and got a bag of that as well. So there's a bag of yellow sand. There's a bag of white sand. And there is a bag of red sand. And I sent all
Brennan?
3 to Flo.
Hey, you know what?
What's up?
I don't want to put you on the spot, but I would love like a little vial of each one of those.
I'll work that out. I'll send that to you, dude.
Yeah, we'll definitely work that out. But I'm paying for shipping.
No, dude. I'll just.
No.
It was like
otherwise.
No, it's nothing. I sent like a little. I wrapped up some little. How did I do it? I got like a little Ziploc bag and wrapped it up. It looked like drugs. Like looked like three little gaff taped bags of drugs. Then I wrapped them all
Australian
together.
red cocaine.
Dude, I wrote on the thing sand in big words. I was like, it's sand, in case they're like, dude, this looks sus. Eh? Yeah.
That's cool that Flo has it. Yeah.
Fully. I mean, yeah, he wants to do a stream with me at the time, so I left it open. Said whenever you're ready, I'll stream with you.
Flo was one of the first people I met on DLive. I've known that dude for a long time. He's
Cool.
a good guy.
But just out of curiosity, the sample that I took originally of the red sand was at that campsite where we had the rainbow and the rain and everything.
Oh, that was cool.
Yeah, but then I found a better spot, so I ditched that and I got this. The stuff that I ended up with is real solid, beautiful red soil.
Okay. Question. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Go ahead.
I would reckon that the red sand is much more coarse. The white sand is probably real fine,
Ooh.
powdery.
Keep going.
Yeah, and I have reasons. Remember before you even went on this trip, we talked about the geology, right?
Geology. Do you know what? You're dead wrong. The most what was coarse and what smooth? Was that the other word?
Right.
Yeah. The most smooth is the red. The red sand
Really?
is super smooth. Can I make this full screen? Just give me
That is a huge surprise.
Where's my? Yeah. So that is really, really smooth. You probably can't see, but the white is coarse.
Wow, that really surprises me.
It's a toss up between the white and the orange, the yellow. I'd say at a pinch the yellow Culburra Beach is coarser than the white. But I just love the color difference. Like, this is Australia. Look how isn't that weird, dude? That's just, they say there's no beauty in. Oh, they don't say that. Some people say there's no beauty in nature and there's no color. Dude, I got a vlog coming from Clary's Waterhole. Do you remember Clary's Waterhole outside a shithole called Lyndhurst?
Oh yeah.
We went to this town called Lyndhurst, population 2, and then we stayed at this. Yeah, it was dude, that place was an absolute shithole. And then we went to this beautiful waterhole, and I went for one of my first night walks, and I videoed a blue, not a flower, like a grass that was blue, like perfect blue. Like, I can't even explain what the blue was. It was like, yeah, like I guess like the background behind me on the stream, it was blue. I was like, what the fuck? And I thought I had my light, and I was like, is it my light, my LED light? I was like, no. And I filmed the ground, and I was like, this is just a blue. Like we're in the desert, and there's hardly any trees, and here's a blue one. It's like, what the hell?
Well, so Kentucky is a state in the United States, right? Which is where bourbon comes from. That's
I'm
where
aware.
Jack. Well, Jack is actually Tennessee.
Jack is Tennessee, and it's
Yeah,
a whiskey.
so it's not technically, yeah.
It's a
But bourbon comes from Kentucky, which
That's
is
right.
right next door.
yes.
In Kentucky, there was a thing called bluegrass, and it's blue. It's the weirdest fucking thing. I'll never forget. I was a little kid, and we were driving through there, and I'm looking, and I'm like, is that grass?
Now, was it at
Blue.
nighttime or was it at daytime?
No, it was during the day.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, that blew me away, and I did see.
I want to mow the lawn and go fishing.
I want to mow that blue lawn. I did see. I'm not shitting you. Again, this seems like I keep coming back to this, but this was at the same red dirt spot where we had the sunset and the rainbow with the rain and everything. I did a night walk that night. Most of these night walks we try to find frogs, but I videoed a 4-legged spider. Not
Wait a
shitting.
minute.
A
Wait a minute.
4-legged spider. Wait till you see the vlog, dude. And it's not like, oh, dude, that's not a spider. It's something. It's a fucking spider with 4 legs. Never
I
seen it
didn't
before.
know there was such a thing.
It doesn't. It's not. It has to be 6-legged, otherwise it's not a spider. But there is a thing that looks like a spider, moves like a spider, as big as a spider, at night where there are spiders, and it's got 4 legs. And I videoed it.
Fucking Australia is so weird.
For me, man, I'm an Aussie, and I was still going. That morning, I was like, Marty, what's this, dude? And I'm like, a 4-legged spider, and he's like, what? It's like, dude, this is Australia. Like, yeah.
And then we get to one of my very favorite moments, Wallaby
That's
Mountain.
gonna be weird. Oh, Wallaby Mountain. Yeah.
Oh,
Dude.
that was.
Somebody said to me, would you do that trip again? Like, would you go out there again? And I said no, but what I would do, I would drive from here to Adelaide or to Murray Bridge and then go back up to the Flinders and spend 2 weeks just hanging out in the Flinders Ranges and then drive back. I wouldn't go from the Flinders north to Uluru and Alice and all that, but I'd definitely do that bit. The Flinders Ranges, fuck, dude. I mean, I'm just getting goosebumps thinking about it.
I know, me too.
So magical, like really incredible. And we skimmed it. Like we just skimmed the top of it. There's so much to see there.
That afternoon, your connection worked.
Oh yeah. On that particular, right? Yeah. How weird.
And you're just climbing up this mountain, checking things out and whatever. And all of a sudden you start, it's like, wait, what's that? And I know Hendrik was there because I remember talking to him.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you see these things bouncing around up the mountain.
They were playing games,
Right.
Yeah.
And then the best part, you started talking to them.
Did I?
They were talking back to you. Yes, Hendrik, right?
That might have been the Jack talking.
you were like making these noises, and they stop and they look at you.
Oh shit! I gotta watch that back.
It was cool as.
That was pretty rad because that spot, like even if I didn't go up that.
Hello there.
That was like.
Oh shit! Shiloh Rose in the house.
Hey, Shiloh Rose. Yeah, good to see you, Shiloh. And that spot was kind of like Cerro Gordo, looking back down into the valley, and I could see Marty setting up and like could see him doing his thing, and it was kind of cool. That was Ackerman Campground. Just I'll say this again, and I don't want to. I think we've kind of hit everything about the situation, but I will say this: in hindsight, we should have stayed in places longer.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it became very clear to me that Marty, even though he was good at it, he wasn't really thrilled on having to set up and reset his swag every night. Now me,
And I don't blame him for that.
Yeah, me
That was
either.
a pain in the ass.
Yeah, yeah. And two things. He probably should have expressed that to me, and then I should have been able to see it. And I didn't really see it until, again, looking back at the videos. But because
The night that I saw it was your birthday.
dude,
and
that
the
was
fan-
fucked.
the
Yeah,
ants.
that birthday was.
Yeah, that's when I knew. And if you remember, I'm not sure I said this to you. That lasted longer than I expected. The two of you together.
What do you mean, that day or the whole thing?
The whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave that alone.
Okay.
Well, it's not appropriate to talk about on this live stream.
Okay. I still don't really get what was going on with Marty that day. Like, why did
The only person that can answer that is Marty.
Yeah, he had it in his mind. Okay, I'm gonna speak to this because I feel like I think there's a couple of things at play here. So Marty was quite green. He was quite green to the notion of free camping. He's quite green to the idea of just driving off the road and taking a dirt road until it goes over an embankment and you're away from the road. Me, I've done that anywhere. I do that. I'll do that in suburbia. I don't give a shit. I'll go and park up anywhere. And when you've got a 4-wheel drive, you can literally go anywhere, right? There's way more opportunities. But Marty, and that was day 4, I think, of the trip. Marty hadn't quite come to terms with that concept. And so that night or that afternoon, because the beginning of that day was really rad. We were at that bar in Louth, 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 with those local sheep shearers. That was sick. He bought me a birthday beer. We had a pie or a shitty chicken pie, whatever it was. And then we drove and it was like, well, Marty, it's kind of 4 o'clock in the arvo. We should look for a place to pull up. And he's like, oh, what are our options? And I said, oh, we could just go up there or something, or we could keep pushing to get to this campsite. And we got to the turnoff to the campsite and we had a certain amount of fuel left. I can't remember how much it was. We're going to need to fill up relatively soon. This is before we had before we'd filled up the jerry cans on the roof. So we were just going with what we had in the vehicle. And we saw that the turnoff to that sign, to that campground, there was still another, I can't remember, it might have been 60 Ks, 120K round trip. And it would have put us pretty tight, like A, on daytime, because it was already getting late in the arvo, and B, on fuel. Now, we knew that we could get fuel in Wilcannia, but Wilcannia is a very sketchy Aboriginal town, which we were warned about by many different people, not only Perdsky, but many people before the trip and leading up to planning. They said Wilcannia is a no-go zone. Definitely don't go in there at night. That was what we were told. And so when we decided to not go down that road to the campsite and instead keep going towards Wilcannia, I said to Marty, well, look, man, it's my birthday, man. I want to pull over and open my presents and just set up camps. Let's just go up there. There's a dirt road. And Marty wouldn't do it. He just wouldn't. He's like, no, we'll go to Wilcannia, we'll fill up and we'll stop at a truck stop. It's like, what? A truck stop? On the road? He's like, yeah, we'll pull up at a truck stop. We'll camp there. I'm like, well, we could do that, but it'll be shit. It'll be really loud and noisy and there'll be trucks all night. He's like, no, we'll do it. And so I talked him into pulling into this dirt road, and we went up a little ways and I got out. I was really keen to, keep drinking and have a birthday, and then pulled out the awning, got set, and then all of a sudden there's ants here. And Marty's like, we can't stay here, there's ants. And I was like, what do you mean ants? He's like, yeah, look, there's ants. And they were biting my legs. Black ants. Not bad, like just whatever, little pinchy pinches. And Marty's like, we can't stay here. I was like, okay, let's just move 100 meters that way. We've got a 4-wheel drive, man. We can go anywhere. We could just drive off into the fucking desert. Who gives a shit? And we moved up. And then he's like, basically at that point, Marty was not having it. And it was my birthday. And I was getting shitty. And I said, okay, do what you want then. We'll do what you want. Let's go. So then Marty...
That was the first major indication from, at least from myself.
Yep.
I mean, there was hints earlier, but that was the day. It was your birthday, like you said, and that was just hard to watch, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I bet. It was hard to be there, man. Like,
I could, probably worse.
Yeah, so he insisted that we go and get fuel and then go to this truck stop on the other side of Wilcannia. Now, it turns out, you know, there was nothing, again, nothing happened in Wilcannia. There was some locals with dogs and stuff, but nothing happened. And we filled up and we went to this truck stop. And then when we got there, I was like, it's already dark, right? Already dark. So there's any chance of like sunset and chilling with the birthday whiskeys and stuff. That was all over. And I was like, okay. And it was windy. And we got this awning, this permanent awning. And I was like, okay, Marty, like, I'm not going to pull my awning out because there's one here. So let's just pull the van up. And where are you going to set your swag up? He's like, oh, I'll probably set my swag up there. I was like, okay, well, in that case, I'll move the van forward and that way the swag will be there under the awning and the van will be up here under the awning with the clearing. And then I did that. And then Marty put his swag right up there next to the van. And I was like, what are you doing, man? What did you... And I was like, I'll just move the van back then. So I just moved the van back. And that's when it blew up. And I was like, what are you fucking doing? You've got a swag, dude. You can put it anywhere you like. Why are you putting it right up against the fucking van? Like, I'm going to climb over this thing. We're under an awning. You can put it over there. And I still don't understand it, why he insisted on doing it right next to the van. Yeah. And that at that point, I was like, this is the shittest day of this trip.
And no chilling by the fire.
Nothing. And it was
no like cracking open, you know, some of the whiskey you got.
It took 4 days after that for me to actually get to the birthday stuff because I was jack of it. I was like, I don't even want to. First of all, I don't like celebrating birthdays anyway because I don't like getting older. But that put the worst taste in my mouth about even just sitting down with a birthday drink. I was like, I don't want to do this now. Like, and 5 days later, we finally did it. And yeah, it's just, I still don't get that, but. Yeah.
All right. Well, here's the thing. All right. You're hanging out with your friends right now. And we're not trying to, again, judge anybody or any of that. But you clearly needed to get this out of your system. Because I know it's been bothering you. And
this now or then?
Both.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
well, thank you. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, to have this discussion now is good. Yeah.
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 Sometimes you just have to hang out with some friends and be like, "What do you dudes think? Am I wrong? Or what the fuck?" You know.
I tell you what I really regret out of all the stuff that went down. I regret that. Just by virtue of the fact that we were live streaming, I regret that Alice Springs stream happened. I think that, and if I was Marty, I'd be super pissed about that. However, we were streaming every day and we were streaming the bulk of the day, and we had that discussion earlier about let's get this sorted between us before the stream starts, because once we get to 10Ks out of Alice, I'm going to start the stream. So I really regret that there wasn't a way to actually resolve shit, or at least like man to man come to an agreement before that stream started. But Marty, again, he just would not have a bar of it. He was so angry and adamant that he wasn't going to discuss things with me, that I felt like I was talking to like an infant. It really felt like I was dealing with a child.
Benin, are you stuck on the realization that Marty was never into the whole streaming thing? He just wanted no part of that, and it came off as like we were intruding on the two of you.
Okay.
That was weird. That was
Okay.
very uncomfortable, and I get the impression I would love to hear other people's impressions of that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've never considered you guys intruding at all, but if that's how it felt from the viewer's point of view, I can see that.
Well, it seemed like that was how Marty took it, that we were intruding on the two of your trip.
Ah. Right. Yeah. Okay. I mean, you have to ask him, but I can certainly see how he might have felt
and
that.
I could be wrong, but that's just my impression.
You're probably right. Like given everything that I saw and given what we've just discussed, I think you might be hitting a point there that I hadn't hit yet.
And that doesn't make Marty a bad person.
No,
it just
no.
means that maybe he shouldn't be involved in that type of thing again.
Yeah,
You know?
it's ironic because his profession that he's just finished his studies for is user experience. Literally UX.
I know,
design.
right?
So
I know.
he should. Yeah,
And he has camera experience, and he chats with total fucking strangers. It's like it never made any sense to me. I was like, what am I missing here?
I know what you're missing. You're missing a key part of it, but yeah, that's
all right. All right.
It's unfortunate that it's I think I just hit a wall then because I can't express what I want to express. Without saying so. But I can say this, Marty can hold this up to his name. He and I are the first people to ever live stream the Australian Outback. Search it up on YouTube. No one has done what we did. Nobody.
That blows my mind.
Yeah, me too. Blew my mind at the time as well, but I don't think it blew Marty's mind. I mean, he did. Oh no, I was going to take a cheap shot then.
Don't.
It's not untoward for me to have a cheap shot. He took a few with me, but I had a pretty good one. Then I'll back out from it though.
Well, I mean,
it was pretty good though.
It's not necessary to state the obvious, right?
It was a pretty good cheap shot, but it was a cheap shot. I realize it was a cheap. Blow.
Just keep that in your holster.
If I ever need it, I'll forget about it and try to remember.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
No. So, man, I just think back to parts of the second half of the streaming. Some of those places I went to, if Marty was there 100% with the right frame of mind, he would have fucking loved this shit. Like Corella Dam for one, man. That was swimming. Dude, it's a shame.
Hey, you know what? Okay, you know what? And this isn't necessarily about you and Marty. I'm going to make a blanket statement, and this applies to a lot of things. Sometimes it's just better to get the fuck away from somebody for a while because you're just not vibing the way either one of you like. Then you're both fucking miserable, right?
Okay.
And it's not that you're a bad person or the other person's a bad person. This isn't working. Whether it's a woman or a buddy or whoever, right?
Right.
And so, and I had to learn this the hard way. I mean, I get it, the whole crying and heartbreak and shit, because I've been down that road more than once.
Yep.
But, I mean, what's the alternative? You're just going to hang out and keep fucking arguing all the time and both being miserable? Screw that. Life's too short, you know? Sometimes you just have to walk away and be like, you know what? You go do your thing and I'll do mine. And we'll leave it at that. Neither one of you are a bad person. You're just different.
Yeah.
You know.
I'll take that on board, and I'll agree with that. in the chat, I've been missing your conversations.
There's a lot of real good conversation in chat. Yeah, read Kick Chat.
Charlotte says Marty's heart was not in it from the start. I feel nothing to do with Benon. Well, yeah, Charlotte and Hendrik, you're yeah.
We're all saying that.
Yeah, you're not the first. Yeah.
Note to self: never talk politics.
Yeah, there was one night, dude. We talked politics one night in Coward Springs on the Undadatna track. Yeah, the politics talk. We did have a pretty
That made me laugh, Andrew. Good for you.
Yeah. Some things that I learned from that trip. Some good things too. Oh, by the way, this is the. Can I make my screen full again? Check this out.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is the device that I needed to pick up to fix my awning. This thing here.
What the fuck is that?
That is the. It's hard to explain, but this piece is the pivot point. And
is that a sex toy?
It's not a sex toy, but if it came down to it, I'm sure it could be utilized in such a manner. You got to huck to you, spit on that thing.
I'm just trying to bring some laughter into the conversation.
Yeah, but that's what I needed to buy, and I've got it, and I haven't fit. You know what I find, like, not ironic, but interesting about this is that this little device was a big reason of the arguments, and I needed this so badly on the trip, and now that I've been back for a lifetime, I still haven't installed it. I think that's ironic. Tell Alanis. On a lighter note, have you tried more beef jerky? No, I haven't, but I got to tell you, Sharla, I quite liked that beef jerky, and I was new to jerky. And that was Barcladine IGA, I think it was. Thank you. By the way, and I know I did this at the time, but can I thank, well, Dale, you're here right now with me in my ears, so thank you for your generosity throughout the streams. You did PayPal me quite a substantial amount, and that shit went directly into fuel, pizza at Hendrik's place. And what else did I put that? I think I probably bought a carton of beer or something. So thank you, Dale. And
well, thank you. First of all, it was my pleasure. It was really nice to be in a situation where I could afford to do it. Your streams and just being you're not just a friend. I consider you a good friend. That's cool.
Well, come on a road trip with me and we'll change all that, dude.
Right? I will not pull a Marty on you. I promise you that. I'll find a different way to annoy the fuck out of you.
Come on a road trip around my birthday time and we'll fix all that, dude.
Opal, motherfucker.
I'll take you to Kubapedi and I'll leave you there.
Yeah, right. Kick my ass out. Fuck you. Go hang out with the Opals. Bye.
And you know what'll happen? You'll fucking strike it lucky and find the biggest Opal, and you'll be like, "That's what you get, Gives a minutes. Yeah, I don't need you anymore. I bought my own jet plane."
Fuck yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah. But what I was trying to say is, your content, your streams are incredible. The trip to fucking now I got to look at I'm looking over at my wall and there's this beautiful picture taken in New Zealand
nice.
by
yes
Benenith, as Suki calls you. Yeah. So we both have provided things for each other, and that's the way a relationship should be. That's what any friendship should be. It's got to be give and take. You guys got to be some balance there.
Well, thank you for saying that, and I agree. And Shyla, many times, Shyla came through and donated food, booze, ice.
Oh yeah,
man, those hard solos I got in Mount Isa, I don't know what it was, but that 4-pack of hard solo, it might have been the 35,000 degree Celsius weather. That could have a factor. But when I got to, what was that water hole near Winton? Long water hole or dry water hole? There was one called, anyway, the one where Dale, where you were like, oh, get a photo of that cracked dry earth, wherever that was.
Yeah.
That day when I pulled up to that water hole and I had an ice cold Hard Solo, which is a lemon flavored beverage with alcohol in Australia, quite new to the market. That was such like it sounds so stupid, but I'm talking about having one beverage, but it was so good just because of how hot it was and how desolate it was. And I had this ice cold Hard Solo, and Charlotte bought it for me. So Hard Solo has great reviews.
We're all having a nice little group hug in your chat right now.
Oh, group hug, nice. Charlotte, I always love to support the channel when I can. This channel has helped me get through the worst part of my life. Always be grateful for that. Thank you so much.
Wow.
Flat
Therein
Forex.
lies the
There's the first follow on Kick after 100 viewers watching. Thank you, whoever that was. Yeah. So yeah, I just want to re-hit those points. It was really kind of you all to donate and to contribute the way you guys did, and yeah, I'm sure this is just the beginning. Like I'm going to be doing up and down the coast trips.
Oh, that's the next question.
What's up
Okay.
next? Yeah.
Now
yeah.
we just segued into you got yourself the new improved Starlink, yeah?
Starlink Mini.
Oh, fuck, dude.
Right here. It's as big as 1.5 schooner glasses. 2 schooner glasses. 1.5. It's so small, dude.
And
So
the quality is just as good.
It's equal. People have posted the speed test results. It's equally as good. There's going to be no issues. Go to Tassie. Take the Go van over the Spirit of Tassie. Take us all around, especially Port Arthur. I mean, yeah. Yeah, Charlotte.
It's a good idea. It's
I
a
wasn't
good idea.
planning on doing such a big trip, but let's
Well,
talk
we're not
about
talking about next week, man. You got the rest of your fucking life.
Let's plan it. Let's plan it. I just want to go there so I can say, show us your map of Tassie.
You're not dead yet, motherfucker.
I'm not. The mountains in Tassie, yeah. Do you know what?
wow.
Hey,
I'm glad Hendrik mentioned that. Ben, before I forget.
Go ahead.
I was in a call and a panel with a group of people recently, within the last week, and Grimsky came in.
Oh, cool.
Which surprised the hell out of me, right?
Rad.
And so we had a really interesting discussion, me and him and a few other people, and I don't want to get into some of the more negative crap about that, but so anyway.
Okay.
Let's just say trolls are not
Oh.
appreciated among my friends, any of them. Yeah, and that got dealt with, so yeah. But on a much better note, Grim was talking about New Zealand, and I brought up, about your trip to New Zealand, as the photographer for that Pantera cover band. What are they called? By Demons Be Driven or something like that?
That's the ones. Yeah.
Yeah. And so he was talking about, somebody mentioned something about, I mentioned that picture that you sent me of it's the Remarkables, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And he was talking about how the mountain ranges, and Rev Jim was there.
Okay.
And he lives in on the west coast, up near a bunch of volcanoes.
Wait,
So
Rev Jim is a Kiwi?
No, he lives on the west coast of the United States.
Oh shit. Okay. Sorry. Yep.
Yeah. And I can't remember if it's Oregon or Washington State, but it's pretty much the same thing.
Yep.
So Grim was talking about how the North Island, the mountains.
I know what you're going to say.
Volcanic.
All the way down.
South Island, they're not.
Yeah.
And so we started talking about that. It was just a great conversation,
You were going to say that the San Andreas Fault, which is those western side of the states, goes all the way down underneath the Pacific Ocean, pops back up in New Zealand, which is what New Zealand is.
It's called the Ring of Fire.
Is it really?
It's this one massive tectonic plate.
Yeah.
That is the Pacific, and it circles the west coast of the U.S., goes up around Alaska, down across through like Japan and Korea, and all the way around, into the southern islands, the Philippines, and all that.
That, and then it's under the water a lot of the times. Yeah.
Right. Remember that massive volcanic explosion in was it Tonga or Fiji or something like that? And So that's all the same thing.
Did I can't remember how this happened, but Grimsky's in the North Island, and I think I would have reached out to him before that tour and said, "Hey, man."
You did. No,
Yeah.
don't you remember? He was live streaming, and so were you. And I mentioned, hey, because you had mentioned that you would love to, invite Grim to one of the shows.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I said, hey, Benin, he's live streaming right now. And you were like, Dale, do me a favor and go pop in and let him know that I'm live streaming. So I did. Now the thing is he had a person at the time who was a mod for him that does not like me at all, which is fine because that's very mutual. And so I waited till that person didn't seem to be active in chat, and I popped in and I said, hey, Grim, I just wanted to let you know Benin is live streaming right now. He really wants to talk to you. He's going to be in New Zealand photographing this Pantera cover band, because I knew that Pantera is like one of his favorite bands.
Yeah.
And he got all fucking jacked. He was all excited and shit. And he was like, oh shit, really? And I was like, well, the thing is, I'm probably about to get banned in your chat because there's somebody here who doesn't like me. He's like, well, fuck that. I'm going to mod you and then they can't ban you. And I thought that was hilarious. And that person no longer mods for him, by the way.
There you go.
And I still do.
So I can't remember what happened, but he didn't come, or it was something.
He had to work. He wasn't able to make it. And plus he sort of lives in a remote area.
He's a dairy farmer and he works, early hours and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I've had some really interesting conversations with him and a buddy of his recently. He's a good dude.
Yeah. Hey, maybe Q Chris in DLive. How you doing, man? Hey, Dale, I gotta have a slash, man. First time on this stream, but I'll be back. But I've got to just take a quick whiz. Can you hold the fort?
Of course.
All right.
Okay.
Gang bang! Gang bang! Gang bang! Gang bang! Gang bang!
Yeah, this has been
Gang bang!
I'm really glad.
Gang bang! 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 Gang bangs!
Oh, and by the way, Chris, I don't know. I'm assuming you can hear me. That was really, I love the idea, the Christmas balls on the tree thing. I like that. Don't let anybody tell you that there's anything wrong with that, because that's bullshit. I think it's a great idea. So, yeah. That was fun to be in that panel earlier, by the way, with you and Uke and Dude Man and everybody who was there. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, really enjoyed that. That doesn't surprise me at all. Yeah, Cab 7 Ben is one of the most generous people on DLive, and anybody who disagrees can kiss my ass.
Shit.
Just saying. Well, Benin, that was the guy who told you that you should be the next. Remember?
Oh, he did.
All the stuff about Tidy leaving. He was like, you should take that role.
Yeah, he pitched that at me, didn't he? Yeah.
Yes, he did.
He must have been really, really drunk.
No, he doesn't drink that I know of.
No, I've seen him drinking. Maybe that was a while ago, but I've definitely seen him having a few.
Okay. I just got to take care of something here. Hang on a second.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you. I don't know. I don't see in the uni chat who cleaned up with those, but yeah.
I gifted Chris a sub.
Oh, cool. Maybe Q Chris. Thank you, sir. There it is. Hey, I'm gonna have to wrap this up reasonably soon. I am working tomorrow, not stupidly early, but early enough to be needing to get a good night's sleep out. So
yeah.
Do you
reasonably soon?
Yeah. Do you feel like we like I feel like we hit all of the stuff that I needed to hit from the Uluru trip. Do you think that you hit what you needed to sort of say? Because you've been saying for a while, I want to have a call in and talk about the trip. Yeah.
Yeah, most of it. Yeah, I think we covered a lot of ground tonight. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Because I do remember you saying a few times, yeah, when you get back, we're going to have a call in and I'm going to talk about this. And I appreciated that you wanted to talk about it, and I'm always down for it. Yeah, and I'd encourage everybody, I'd encourage everyone to go across to my YouTube channel. You know what I can do? I'll give you a playlist because I am uploading the daily vlogs to a particular playlist, and I think that will give you a bit more of a, not you, Dale, but anyone in general, it'll give you more of a clarity in terms of the vibe that I'm seeing on the daily. Because the streams are so large and so long, you can't be expected to watch all the streams.
Well, I mean, I was there for most of the live streams, so I will watch some of the vlogs when I have time. But you know, some of us work full time,
Understandable,
and we're busy, but yeah, it's good to know that will always sort of be there for posterity, right?
And that's kind of why I did it as well. Like I wanted to come away from that trip with some small pockets of content, like little snippets of content, and a vlog and a live stream. So 3 things: 1 long form, 1 mid form, and 1 really small. And I'm uploading them to TikTok and Instagram. Yeah.
This is sort of what I want to do with EDC, and we'll save that for another time. But ever since Jet, that fucking conversation where he was talking about his family and the documentaries and stuff, that really inspired me, dude.
You want to document your set at EDC? When is that happening, by the way?
Not my set at EDC per se. I actually did not perform this year at EDC. I had a all access backstage pass because I performed before, but I think I might have enjoyed this even better because there was no pressure, so I could just like relax and have a good time and talk to people and hang out and enjoy the music. And
you should have documented it then.
Well, but the problem is you have to have, first of all, you're not allowed to film stuff backstage because that violates people's privacy, right?
Okay.
And I didn't want to get thrown out. So, and everybody agrees to it, you know, it's like a terms of service thing.
Yes.
Don't do this, right? Because a lot of shit goes on behind the scenes that nobody really needs to see. Let's just say that. But it was inspiring. So, but see, you're good at that too. You're good at telling a story and presenting, painting a picture, right?
Thank you.
With your words and just the way you, and your photography and everything. So yeah, just we'll talk about that some other time.
Okay. Well, I'm down for whatever that might be. I did put
EDC was early November, so it's a few weeks ago.
Okay, so it's again early December 2025 as well.
No, November.
Sorry, no, yeah, next year as well. Yeah, gotcha.
Right.
So we got a year to sort of come up with something.
It comes up quick.
Yeah, man, and life comes up quick, you know? Yeah, fully. I did put a link there to the playlist of those particular vlogs. So yeah, I think I'm up to day 11 or day 12 or something. And Netski's with the link to the channel as well. Thank you. Terms of service are against the law according to the ACCC. Thank you, Hendrik. We won't go into that, but there is other conversation to be had. But yeah, Dale, I'm going to have to pull the pin here on this one. But I just want to say, just thank you for the thoughts that you've had and the expression of those tonight. In particular, the Uluru stuff. I mean, we talked about everything and everything in between, but in particular that stuff. I want to thank you for that. Yeah.
Right back at you, man.
Well, I appreciate it. You were right. I did need to talk with someone else about this because aside from that one voice message to Marty, I haven't really, and my family, but aside from that, I haven't spoke to anybody about this. And it has been a couple of months now, I guess, 2 months or whatever, 1.5 months. Yeah, so thank you.
Well, thank you as well for many things.
And thank you, chat, for being here. Appreciate you all, and I apologize for putting you guys through a bunch of shit that maybe you didn't sign up for on that trip, but you got to see warts and all, right? Like, that's live. Can't sugarcoat it.
You know what? In a way, look at it this way. In a way, that adversity that you went through, because we all go through adversity in life. We all go through situations where relationships don't work out the way we would like. And I would bet that Marty would agree with that.
Yeah.
Look at it as a, I hate to say learning experience, but kind of, yeah, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, learning experience. I mean, at the cost of a friendship seems a bit extreme, but if that's...
Give it some time, you know. Maybe your friendship will be not involving your other stuff so much. Maybe just the two of you guys should just hang out and have a few beers and just keep it private.
I would sort of lean towards that being one of the solutions. It's not like whatever happens, it's not going to be on stream, you know.
Right.
That's
and probably
clear.
Shouldn't be.
Yeah, that's clear. And but I will let you guys know according to. You know what? Let's not talk about this because it hasn't happened. But you know what I'm saying,
right?
Yeah.
Just we'll see.
But yeah. There was one.
All right. Well, cheers, man. Thank you so much. This
Thanks,
was
dude.
I enjoyed this immensely. And you know what? Here's looking to the future, right? It's going to be interesting.
Right on.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna dip out of this.
All right, and I'll wrap this up here. Thank you, Daleskins.
Thanks.
Panel ho. I love it.
Later, man.
All right, see you, man. There you go, folks. Great to have Dale there for a conversation. I'm always down for a chat, as you guys know, and if it means me chatting, I don't know, chatting to myself or chatting to the chat, I mean, you guys saw it, right? For the last 2 weeks of that trip, I was by myself, just talking shit and talking with you guys, and I think we had a good time. We'll see how things pan out in the future, and I'll certainly do my best to keep you all informed within. I don't even know what I'm saying right now. I'm talking about the future as if I know what it's going to be. We don't know what it's going to be. I know this for a fact, though. I've got to get some sleep and then get up and go to work on a Sunday. Hope you guys have a great time, whatever you choose to do on your Sunday. And I'll see you all on the flip side. Laters, all. Thank you, chat. Cheers.